Well, 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 it's time to play some more Satisfactory. Welcome everybody who's watching, both here and later after the VOD. Gotta make sure I keep my energy up, it's a weekend, and I'm already tired. Typical me. So I've been busy since the last stream. I've been setting up a ton of blueprints. I've been going wild with the blueprints. I've got some testing things here set up, but I've basically been going crazy with my modular factory design, which I've got hiding in the background here. That I'm gonna tear down most of what's there and replace it, hopefully with the proper version. But still gonna be lots of work to be done before anything gets really set up. Hi Mizuki, Can Gaming indeed. So what I've been working on has been a lot more modular things for the modular factory. Essentially what I've created here is an item input wall, an item bridge, an item elevator, some roads, and an entry point for the item bus. And yeah, there's gonna be, I now have walls. So I've made so many blueprints, I now have different walls for my factories that I can build. Let me see if I can put this somewhere. I can cycle through them. I've got corner areas, I've got dual bottom belt inputs, I've got inner corners, smaller corners for the outside, small walls, large walls, window walls, walls with columns, all the walls. So many blueprints. I've also got, let's see, all of these blueprints. I've been busy. There's my factory blocks. I've got sign blueprints. I've got, all this is stuff I've had. Yeah, I've also got road blueprints I've been working on for a proper road system. It's gonna be awesome. So let's see, where is... I don't have proper icons. You can only pick so many icons for things, but where is it? Just give me the straight road. Fine, I'll do the ground road. Where's the straight section here? I already forgot what icons I used for things. That's great. There it is. I'm blind. Yeah, big chunk of road. Just put that anywhere. And the great thing about blueprints is they are so quick to set up, so quick to change and modify. Like literally, I can just suck up this wall. Whoops. Suck up the wall, suck up the corner, take that, and that. And so very quickly I can take away all my testing things just to make sure everything works. And yeah, I think I'm happy with the system I've got set up. There might be a few more blueprints I need to set up. Hi Fappy, welcome to stream. Glad you can make it. But yeah, there's probably going to be some more blueprints I can set up. I've been spending all of my time off stream in this corner of the map, testing stuff here and just seeing what I can get away with. But yeah, I am ready to tackle the factory. I have some plans. It's hiding and taunting me in the background there. Something I tried to set up last stream, and I think this is finally the time where I make it happen. I've also got more of my road blueprints here. I updated this section to be a little bit more decorated. So I've got some goals. So basically what I've done there is I've created a giant slab of concrete floating in the air for now, but it will be supported later. But I might actually tear all of that down and move it somewhere else, or at least align it, make sure it's aligned to the world grid. Because if I want to have a road system that interconnects everything here and possibly across the entire world, then I need to start on a good foundation, which in this case is the world grid. What am I doing? Let me go up here. I have a jump pad set up here for a reason. But yeah, the idea is if I get set up properly, then all the roads can interconnect. It'll be perfect and work great. And so it's time to tear down what I've done here because this is probably not set up right. I have some proper plans I'd set up off stream for how I really want to design this factory now that I've actually looked at the numbers and the logistics for physical placement of belts and things. And I'm hoping I can get this not working. It's going to be a long time before I get this working, but I'm hoping I can at least get everything here blocked out and set up in the proper order. And a lot of things are going to change, so because everything's modular, I can of course just be like, oh, that doesn't go there, let me just suck up that blueprint. And just replace it with whatever else. So like, a lot of things are going to change probably throughout the playthrough while I figure out how to actually utilize my blueprints here, because again, this is something I've never really done before. I kind of just did it by accident in one stream, just spending a lot of the time building a blueprint for one of these, and then I just went crazy from there and created all of this. all of these different blueprints for different things. And even between last stream and this stream, I've set up more blueprints for factory walls so that I can have walls that can surround the outside of this setup, and it's going to be awesome. So first things first, I actually want to clear out most of this, and then I want to actually get an idea of the logistics for this space, because this entire biome is almost certainly going to get paved over with concrete and roads, and then I'm going to have everything built on top of that. But one thing I have to keep an eye on, just flew behind that pillar there, but this guy right here, this, whatever it's called, this moth manta thing, flies around this biome, and it will fly right through your factory without a care in the world if you build right up in front of its path. So depending on how high I end up going, I might have to move some things around. Also, I should probably upgrade Phase 2. I've been in Phase 2 for hours, and I still haven't even unlocked oil processing, so no jetpack. I'm doing everything here based on just having the early game items and all the cosmetics basically unlocked. Like I said, I've been kind of lost in the sauce, just making tons and tons of blueprints, because I wanted to... My goal for this entire playthrough was to have basically big factories, because I've never done that. I've never done mega builds. And to have everything be super detailed the way I like them to be everywhere. So just to quickly recap some things, all of these blocks here are actually blueprints that can be destroyed very easily and placed very easily. They have a corresponding blueprint that they sit on top of. And the way the system works is, I've got the numbers crunched on here, and I'll show you a factory map. I'll place it down right now, actually. I think I have the resources for it. But I made a blueprint for a basic factory map that I can show. Let's see, I think it's... one of these is the right one. I didn't have the actual name, but I made a factory map using signs of what I want this whole place to be. And essentially what I want... Yes, this is not the right one, it's the other one. So let me get the other one. I know because that one has copper in the sign out. This one should only have iron, which means, yeah, there's only one sign on the left. So let me get this and put it down. So here, let me explain how this factory is going to be. Since this is all modular blueprints, every blueprint is a perfect 4x4 square. And so if you think of this as a top-down view from like way up in the sky, like from the space elevator looking down at this factory, this is what it would be. It would be a block of one of these that I've made, making iron ingots. Another block that looks just like it, making iron plates. And it'll be the same thing each row down, with space for logistics floors like these here, so that I can run the belting and all the belt work through and have room for everything, because there's going to be a lot of resources flowing through here. And so that's what the bottom floors are for. All these blueprints are set up so that the balancing and networking is pretty much done. All I have to do is go to the front of these, which is on the inside, hook up the input belts, hook up the output belts, and sometimes there might be things in the way, so I'll have to like take down a wall or something. Hook up the output belts and feed them into the proper machine or block that they go to based on that factory map. And now that I've jumped down here, I gotta get up these stairs. So I can go back to that factory map. But the cool thing is, I actually have blueprints for signs, so I can label everything. Mostly the belts on the bottom floor, because it's going to be very confusing. Since I've made all these detailed blueprints, the bottom floors are going to start to look all very much the same. So I do have blueprints I've set up for signs, so I can understand and know where the heck I am and what's where. I can place down a blueprint, and then I can just change the label according to what block I'm at. And everything will be good, because last stream I actually set up a, I guess, temporary quartz setup over here by trucking over at the truck station, by trucking over some quartz so that I can make silica and other quartz items so that I can make signs, because I will need them so I don't get lost. Because this is going to be a big build and I don't want to get lost, and plus I can do funny things with these by placing multiple of these down in different places and doing something like, what's the layout here? Do small text and then say, and do something like that. And I can just edit that and put it wherever it needs to be, and it'll be great. And I can change the color to be yellow or something so it's really obvious. So yeah, this can be like the factory map, and I can change the signs to say what goes where, what's next, label everything accordingly, and it'll be, I think it'll be fun. But yeah, everything's a blueprint, so everything can get destroyed very easily. as long as I have the inventory space. One thing I might do, like I did in the other testing grounds, since a lot of this is actually probably not going to fit in my inventory, I think I'll just shove everything into a giant set of bins so that I don't lose the materials, because I don't want to sink them. I want to make sure I keep them so that I can replace the pieces here to be where they need to be instead of where they are now, because they are not set up correctly, not one bit. So I'm already leaving dismantle crates behind, so my inventory is chock full because these are large blueprints. So I'm just going to fill these bins as much as I can with all these materials. Let's see. All the basic stuff. I'll even put the concrete in there for now. Take that. And let's clear out the space. Ah, left another crate, so my inventory is full. And so I think the main game plan, I think, for the stream and for probably the next few streams really is going to be to just block out the placement of the roads, because I'm going to have to collect all the resources from this biome to feed these factories. I'm going to have 2 factories about this size that I'm going to try to make here. And the idea is to try to use all the resources from this biome and these 2 factories to make all the basic early game items. So that last, I didn't actually show it on the sign, but if I put it back down... Oh, I don't have to, oh yeah, I put everything up. I was like, why can't I make it? Let me see here, what do I need? I need plates and rods. And reinforced plates. More, okay. So yeah, what I need is all the iron, and what I get out of it, if I can place it in the right direction. So here's what I have. All the inputs here, in this case it's just 1 sign of iron. So if I feed it 2,160 iron ore per minute, what this factory should do, assuming I set and route everything up correctly, is it should give me all of these things at these rates. And if you've played this game, then you know that some of these numbers are a little bit silly. But that's what this is for. I just want to build at scale just to see if I can. And also the other factory is actually probably more complicated than that one. The other similar factory that I want to set up is for all the copper items and the other missing items, which in this case would take a little bit more iron, but mostly copper, and a little bit of coal for steel products. It's going to be a very similar layout, just with different items being made. And I'll be getting out a lot more things. Let me jump up a little bit closer so I can see better. Let me do this. Hi, Confused. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, this factory, once this is set up, this is all gonna take probably several streams to get set up, if I'm being totally honest. But I'm hoping to get things blocked out and set up, and hopefully in a way that makes sense and works. But yeah, this second factory that I'll set up later is gonna be making lots of things very quickly, especially these rotors. That's a big number. That'll let me make a lot of motors too with all that. Now, with all of that being said, I think the main thing, once I get this area cleared out, is to figure out where the roads are, because first I want to see if this is actually aligned to the world grid. I actually never checked last stream. I don't remember how I placed this down. It seems like it is. So if I go up, then I think this will be aligned with this foundation. If so, then this is on the world grid. And that means any roads I build will be aligned. So if I go to Zoop, that should, in theory, line up perfectly. It is off center by half, but that looks like it is correct. So yes, everything is on the world grid, which is good to know. That means everything here, including my temporary, I think I set that up on the 2nd or 3rd stream I did, but my temporary early game factory there will probably get torn down at some point and replaced with this style of factory. But yeah, I think I had this area kind of blocked out, but I'm gonna have to count the spaces again and figure out how big this slab is, because I've got my new notes here for how I want to actually set this up now. Since trying to wing it on stream doesn't work, that's not how you do this. I learned that very quickly. Oh, I left that crate there. Whoops. Let me see if I can get it. Yes, I can. But yeah, all of this is just one piece at a time. It's gonna get destroyed, and I'm gonna reset this up in a way that makes more sense than trying to figure out how to do it live, because when you're working at scale like this, then yeah, you don't want to try to just wing it. That's not a good way to go. Big problems will happen if you do that. I learned that at the end of the last stream, because I was trying to set things up saying, oh yeah, this should work, and if I go here, it should work, and then I placed them down, I looked at it, and I was like, Wait a minute. Let me rethink this. But yeah, I was also tired and ended stream, so between then and now, I did figure out my plans. I've made the factory maps. I've got charts made up. Here I have the order of things, so everything should be good. So yeah, let me store more materials here and get things dumped on inventory here. It is going to be full. Put that up, put that up. Let me suck up the rest of this and give me one. Oh, I had to sneeze. Excuse me. Let's see, that's stairs. I might want to keep that. Also, I want to keep these battery blocks because I've done the numbers, and it looks like the iron factory that I had the sign set up for. Let me see if I have this right. I'll look over. It's hiding. Apparently, that factory will take 1,338 megawatts of power, and so I have 2 battery blocks I set up here, which I think in theory, if they hold 1,600 megawatts each, should mean it can run for a little over 2 hours without without destroying my grid, because my grid won't be able to handle this right now. So I technically need to set up more power plants before I have any hope of turning even one of these on. So that's the thing, but at least these batteries are charged, so assuming I turn things on one little bit at a time, it should last for at least an hour or 2. So that's good. I might build more batteries, because what I can do is build multiple blocks of batteries, let them charge, and then the more I have, then every one is like another hour of the factory working, so I can make sure it's, check and see if there's any issues, if I hooked everything up right, make sure everything's going properly. So, let's clear out. I think I want to see what's up here. I also don't want to remove my stair blocks, or I won't have any way up. It's, like, easy. Yeah, I think the main thing I actually want to do, before I tear out too much more of this, is I want to keep this here, figure out, because this slab might actually be at the right height, but I gotta check and see if it'll clear some of the terrain obstacles, because I can't destroy the terrain, but what I can do is build around it. And I think the main thing is to just pretty much pave over this biome and make sure I'm not covering up any of the resources, or if I am to build around it, or I can detail that at some point, but essentially I'm going to have to harvest all the resources from this biome, funnel it into the entrance point to the factory so it lines up with everything. And then I can start routing everything around and start planning where things are. But the main thing is trying to figure out where all the resources are going to come from, because I looked at the map, and it seems like... Hi Nightsin, welcome to stream. I just started. So I think the main thing is I'm going to be siphoning up most of the iron from this area of the map and pretty much all of the copper, and what I might end up doing is funneling all of it to like one major truck station in this biome, and then I can belt it from that into the 2 factories I plan on making. Hey Cresto, welcome! Glad you can make it. So I'm thinking I'll have one major truck station that everything funnels into, and then those can either belt directly from that station to each factory, assuming I can line things up properly. Depends on the scale. Then everything else can be roads, or I can maybe try to build around things or over things, or who knows. But based on my factory blueprints here, it seems like, I have a... Where's my entrance? So the factory entrance will look like this. And so it'll line up with the floor, so that entrance lines up to the top level of the floors, and I have other entrances for resources that I showed earlier, but like if I do these, then the inputs, so I can feed in the belts, because I looked at the numbers, and since I only have Mark III belts, if I want to bring in 2,160 ore, I'm going to need 8 Mark III belts, and so I need a big opening that can hold 8 belts of inputs. And that also means I'll need at least 4 truck stations delivering ore at full capacity to make sure that can be satisfied. Because 2,160 ore divided by the speed of a Mark... I guess it doesn't like commas. Divided by the speed of a Mark III belt is exactly 8, so that will line up perfectly if I can make that work. So the main thing is trying to collect all the iron. That's the hard part. So I know there's a ton of impure iron. Like if I come down here, there's a ton of impure iron nodes just hanging out under here. And I'm probably going to have to overclock all of them, so that's going to be even more power demand than I'm going to have to figure out. Because on top of the basically 1400 megawatts the actual factory is going to take, I also have to account for the miners, which I haven't done in my calculations because they're all going to be overclocked. And so, oh hey, I put a ladder there from last stream. Cool. Yeah, let me look at my power grid. It's been a little bit since I've looked at it. I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Yeah, I'm only making 1800, so if I turn everything off, then I still, because I know the overclocked miners take up a decent chunk of power too, then that won't even power one of my factories, and I want to make 2 big ones. There's a miner back here feeding into this truck station. Let me see if I can see what that's doing power draw-wise, because I think I have this one fully overclocked. Even though the belt can't handle 300 output. I think I've got it set to 300. No, I've got it set to 600 because I was like, future-proof, whatever. But it looks like it's taking 50 megawatts to do that. Even though I can only do 270 out of that because of the Mark III belt. So, you know, I can do little things to save power for now, or I could just focus on building another power plant and knowing that it'll be useful. Because I think what I can do, if I go open the app again, if I scan for coal, because I need that too, that's the most I can do for power right now is coal power plants. I think what I can do is try to set up more coal power, because all the coal that I'm using right now in this area with the 2 truck stations is being used to make steel here. So, oh yeah, I pinged those, so those coals showed up here. And so what I could do is, pretty sure there's more coal in this direction. One of the things I could do to kind of test out my blueprints kind of early on is to work out a route this way, because I know there's coal, I think over here somewhere on the map, so I can build like a road system that goes there. Because there's more resources here, like I'm pretty sure there's oil here too, so like I can plan to have like another big factory here at some point. Because I explored there, I think in one of my earlier streams, probably the third or fourth one. Let me see, where is the tractor? Also, I should probably make sure I have basic items on me so I can build stuff. Let's see. Probably gonna need at least a couple of these and 8. What if I go for a big one? What if I set up 16 coal power plants? Because that should give me... How much power did this make again? I forget. Does it say? 75 megawatts? Okay. So that'll give me 1200. That'll be enough to run pretty much one of the factories I want to build. So if I plan to make 32 coal power plants, then I could run both factories. Hi, Fox Sniper. Feel free to lurk if you need to keep working. Don't let me keep you. So if I plan to make a big old coal factory with 32 coal power generators, then that would be a thing. And then later on, like way later on, because it's going to be several streams later, way later on when I unlock oil, then I can start replacing all my coal power with fuel power and start using that coal for something more productive than power. So yeah, there's lots to do. It's kind of really no real order to things. It probably would make sense to figure out rough positioning for things and counting out the actual size of the factory so I know how many blocks it needs to be wide and long, and then I can try to plan around that for logistics for trucks and belts and all that. So let me go back here, let me look at this foundation and see if it's in a good spot. And if it is, then I can start building out my road blueprints from here, and let's see if this works. If I set it to blueprint, it should just snap to these, because all these foundations here are blueprints. So I can make this ground level, because that's where everything kind of builds up to from. And then if it works, then I can just have a road system that goes in a straight line, more or less, right through, and then I can build off this with the different pieces I have. Make like a parking lot and offloading system. And one thing I didn't make a blueprint for was like a truck station blueprint for offloading items, but that's something that kind of has to be done manually because it's just a big thing that you have to make. Not exactly something you can do in a 4x4 grid when it takes like 8 grids to make a loop and for just one truck station. And then for this I'm going to need 4 because they have 2 belt outputs and I need 8 belts to satisfy what I'm doing for these factories. So let me remove this for now, and that one. And let me finish tearing down these blocks, assuming I can hold the inventory for it. So that's one good thing about these blueprints, is they're very quick to move around. I love that. Can I make it up here? Barely. Alright. If I'm gonna make 16 coal generators. That might be my first main goal after I get things blocked out here. That means I need 6 water extractors, because 3 feeds 8. And I will need some sheets for copper pipes, and then I'll also do 2 pumps per. That's just my go-to to make sure it works without issues. So I have my to-do list on the right for the items I need to make said coal power plant. But in the meantime, let me see if I can't get up high in the air and count out some blocks. I need wire, which I stashed in one of these bins. There's some wire. Any other basic materials I don't have? I think I got most basic things, but I would need to build stuff. So let's see. I think power towers are taller, that's why I was doing that with a platform. So I can use this to really see what's going on. Okay. Might help to have the blueprint in. Then I can use this to kind of count by highlighting. Okay, that works. Kill that. And I've got that there as a reference point, which is not center, but I think I did that on purpose. I remember when I set this up, I had offset it by 2, so I had a 2-block space for walls. And then when I was off stream designing my factory walls, I made sure that they took up 2 spaces. Where's my straight wall? There it is. So I made sure the wall takes up 2 blocks, so that in default build mode it takes up that space. And so I can literally border my factory however it ends up being arranged with walls, which is nice. And you had to cycle through some of these again. I got different variations for windows and all kinds of things. Inputs and different floors, corners, all that. It's gonna be great, but I have to figure out how big it is first. So let me see if I can't build up. I want to look at my map that I made, but I don't want to. I want to stay high up so I can see it. So let me do this. Hopefully I have the materials to build it. I actually didn't check. Probably should have done that, but let's see. I can build it. Okay. Teach me how to lay out my factory map. So if I want to have columns, I'm going to have row of 11, it seems, since there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rows. Because the empty ones are needed too for logistics space for belt work. So I need 11 blocks long and then 5 blocks deep. So it's long and 5. So 11 long, maybe 11 this way. If I do that, then the inputs have to come in from this side they're kind of expecting. So the input's on the short side. So if I think about that, then the inputs could come from where this coal power plant is, around this side. And then all the iron can start flowing in that direction. So that can be row A starts around here and goes down this way, down the foundations there in that direction. That could be a way to do it. Only thing is, I wonder if there's enough space here for, I mean, I could move that or destroy that and put it somewhere else. That power plant. I mean, if I'm going to build another 16 power plants, I can destroy that and have power left over to move it over here somewhere, like on top of that hill. So it's like part of the road, but raised up above it, because I can't pave over that cliff in a straight line. It's going to be part of the terrain here that I can't move. But if I plan for that, then this can be kind of like the truck stop area here, where all the iron is kind of picked up by trucks and shipped off to be dropped off here. So just for a rough size comparison, how big is a truck station? Let me jump down here. I'll use that concrete down there to kind of gauge scale. There's one there. So there's definitely plenty of room for 4 truck stops, because I got to count for the fact that they have to drive and stop and miss each other. So having this space here for like the parking lot for the factory and such would work, I think. And then let me count out the blocks here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's getting close. 8, 9. So I have to go 2 more out at least to fit the size based on that map. And I think, yeah, there's stuff in the way. I can't move those iron ores. So I could probably just push it this way a couple blocks. Well, it also needs to be like 5 deep. I could raise this section of the world up, this grid foundation I'm building. I could raise it up so that it dodges these iron deposits, or I could just ignore it. It's just 2 impures. Like, I can get more iron elsewhere. I don't need these 2. So I could just ignore those 2 and not worry about it. Which is another option. Totally perfectly viable. If there's one resource in the game that there's an abundance of, it's iron, that's for sure. I can find iron elsewhere, because I don't think I'm actually using all of the iron in this region to account for that 2160 that I need a minute. Also, random thought, but I heard that this little island here, I think it's this island, let me fly over here, let's see. Yeah, in early access, this region of the map would actually be part of the world border that would kill you. But I'm pretty sure in 1.0 they made it accessible. There's nothing over there like gameplay-wise, but one of my funny thoughts was, what if I kind of built my hub there and just kind of lived in this corner of the map, because this island is this corner of the map right here. And so it's literally the bottom corner of the game map, which extends way up into this region. So like everything, like I can't see it because of my concrete slab, but the rest of the map is literally in the opposite direction. The rest of the game is over these mountains and very much further beyond. So it'd be funny to have my home base be on the island where nothing gameplay-wise exists. Because I think the Satisfactory community just loved that area so much, and they was like, oh, why does this place kill you? It's so pretty or whatever. So I might explore that at some point and maybe move my hub and stuff down there. It'll be super inconvenient for the early game, because, I mean, running over there and back for things if I forget stuff is gonna be annoying, but it's an idea that I've had. So I think I might ignore those 2 irons, so I think that means I need to expand it by 2 more spaces. And I think, yeah, here I'm kind of crashing into this, which is why I didn't build any further out this way. But if I'm gonna move this, then it doesn't matter, I think. I'm not gonna build it, but I'm gonna see how much space it takes. So if I were to build it here, I'm gonna come to this point, and then I could do 1 more. But then I think it hits that, and that's the problem, is it hits this mountain here. Although, I'd have to check my factory map. I thought I can jump up there from here. Okay, I'm just slightly unable to jump up there, that's good. Yeah. I think I can fit 1 more block over this way, and then I can do 1 or 2 more blocks over that way, and that should be the size lengthwise I need for this factory. Oh, hey, Philistine. Thanks for the raid. Welcome to the stream. I'm slowly blocking out the layout for my modular factory here. It's a little bit too small. I need more space. Also, I need to count the 6 spaces over I need here. So I'm gonna ignore these 2 impure irons, and I'm gonna let's go out 1 more. I think I have the concrete to do it. I'll go 1 more in this direction, 1 more in the other, and then let's see, that's 3, 4. Can't see. 5, 6. So I might actually have 1 extra row here that I don't need. Let's see, that'd be cool. Let me fill that in. And so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Magic number is 11. 9, 10. Okay, so that's actually already the right size, so I don't even need to go further out. I deleted my stairs. Good job. I played myself. Wait, are these part of the blueprint? They're not. What are these doing here? I guess I was doing something silly with those. Time to go back to the jump pad. Let me check my map. and see how many spaces I need. Bean, what are you doing? You don't belong up here. Surprise, Bean. Oh, can't ladder. Skill issue. So let's see. Map says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3. Only need to be 5 deep, so 6 is actually perfect. So let's see. It is. I mean, I'm doing 1 extra, so I need 7. So I have 2 wall outs, an outer 2 wall space for walls, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, I do have 1 more than I need. So all of that can go away. And that should be perfect for the iron factory. And then I can finally have automated all the early game items. Took me long enough. It's still going to be a while. I still got to make the extra coal power plant because there's no way I'm powering all of this with what I've got so far. So now, okay, here now for the fun part. Now I might want to keep the batteries there. I hope. Let me check the map. Maybe I can see it from here, but I think the left side is actually clear, so I should be free to leave them there. It looks like it's iron and plate production, but I could just shift things. I mean, I have space to go that way again, so I could just leave them here because they're already charged. I don't want to wait for them to charge again. Although, considering the speed of this game, it might not be a big deal. I'm back. I just passed out cold in my bed, jolted awake wondering where I was. I do that in my chair. I fall asleep in here. Way more than I should, I'll say. Not good for my neck. This bean is enjoying eating straight air on top of these containers. Can you get up? Looks like you live here now. Okay, good to know. Whoops, let's see. I might remove everything, to be honest. It's not the end of the world to have to recharge the batteries, although I should dump my inventory again since it's very full. That's okay, I wasn't paying attention. That was a full bin. Jeez. Alright, well, I want to keep some of the things that don't come from these blueprints. Plates can definitely go, though. Alright, I think these are going to load up my inventory because of the modular frames that they take up. Let's see. Yeah. Oops, I'll keep those. And the wire, I forgot about that too. Yeah, they're very, very chunky blueprints. Alright, I think it's time to suck this up and all this. And remove everything, and let's get this blocked out. Not set up, but at least blocked out. So these bins are probably going to float until I place more platforms down, but that's okay. I fell into my awesome sink. Go away. Alright, Bean, I guess I'm going to free you from your trap if I can platform up. Cannot platform up. And be free! Goodbye, Bean. Run free. Alright, I should have floating bins. Okay, everything is cleared. So, oh, except this. For some reason there's a fence here. But yes, everything else was just straight blueprints, so that is good. Let me put these back as concrete. Actually, what I might do, since I don't want to mark these anymore, I think they don't count as part of the blueprint if you change the material. So I think what I'm going to do is delete these 4 and replace them down as blueprints so that everything can definitely be blueprints when I put them back down. Or if I ever in the future need to modify things, I can just have the blueprint there so I don't have to like individually select things again. It's the only slight annoyance with modifying things with material changes and blueprints. Alright, let me ladder up so I can jump and see better. And I can start blocking out all the things. And I'll place one next to the road here just so I can have the factory map live here as reference. Blueprints. Let's see, it was A, I think. Yeah, it's got the 1 input sign, so it's this one. Teach me how to lay out the factory. Alright, plan was, first chunk is iron smelting, and then it's every other one down the row. if I were to do this, then let me check at my graph notes here. It's different. It's a little bit more detailed for my reference. Let's see. I mean, I could have kept that last row I deleted of concrete towards the waterfall. Let's see. Because I think everything flows in. So based on my notes here, all the items flow from the top left from A1 all the way down to like E6. And this is kind of like the main entry because that's where all the storage is. But looking at my notes, it looks like I could kind of route those belts anywhere. So I can kind of flip things around so that the entrance is actually more towards like A5, A6 around here. So down there is kind of the main front entrance, and then all the logistics and trucks and inputs can come from down here. So that could work. So that can be my mental note for that. But yeah, if I start blocking this out, then... And I need to think about this. I have them rotated a certain way too. All the smelters are rotated so that the items can flow left to right, but then everything else is rotated so the items flow top to bottom. Because the way my blueprints are set up is, if I actually, let me highlight one. I might need to go up to show this. But all my blueprints are set up in a certain way so that all the inputs flow in from one direction and out in another. So if I take like a constructor block, for example. Where's the front? Show me the arrow. There it is. So for example, on the constructor block, all the inputs are on the left side, and then the outputs come on the right side when I'm facing it. And so it's like directional. When I'm having a logistics floor here, all items flow in one side, and hopefully, and any extras can pass over on top, like with stacked belts and such. And then all the outputs can go and route in any direction they need. But all my logistics floors that are empty, without any items, like if I just do like a regular floor, then the bottom has kind of two open pathways. And I've tried to keep them all the same, so if I flip through a bunch of these, then they're all pretty much set up the same, with some exceptions, but they all have at least one clear side on the left so that I have room for logistics and belts to go through. And so that means I have to make sure these are set up a certain way so that the logistics paths are in right direction and clear. So if I start with A1, which is iron smelting, I think my bins are in the way, but that's okay. There actually won't be a floor on the logistics floors that I push down first. But if I count in 2 spaces from either side, then this is the back corner, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front corner of that blueprint. If I place down a smelter logistics floor, with this being the front left corner of it, that should be the first piece of the puzzle here. So I go to a smelter block, and I think because I'm using Mark III belts, I need a 2 in, 2 out. Where's the front? It is facing me. Let me mark it down there, and let's see. I think this should be right. 2 blocks in, 2 blocks in. Inputs are here. There's room for the truck stations here to bring in all the belts I'm gonna need in these walls, because I can continue paving in this direction. I think this will work great. So let's try this and go from here. So I need to do one, based on the map, it's 1 every other block. I think I can put them next to each other. Also, I'm gonna have to go steal resources now. I'm already out. Let me actually clear my to-do list and put in these blueprints instead so I can see how many I can place down. So I'm gonna need I'm gonna need 5 more of these. And I think what I'm gonna do is just build another jump pad, I guess. So I can get up quickly and easily since I don't have the jetpack yet. A much more future me will have it, that's for sure. I mean, yeah, I probably should have angled that better, but it's fine. So I need plates for days, steel beams for days, and rods, and a little bit of concrete. Alright, now I should be able to build the rest of these. So it's every other 4. Need to cough again. I think I muted myself in time. I kind of threw my mouse. But yeah, with this, I think that will work. So if I skip 4 blocks and place another one down here, standing on it, that should be it. Make sure the arrow's facing me. Lock it. Place it. And so I'm gonna have 8 belts of full Mark III belts coming in from this direction. And so that means 2 goes into every single one. Or actually, no, that's not quite right. I think it's like 1.5 goes into every single one, or there's something to that effect, because there's 6 blocks of these based on the factory map here. Yeah, like math, right? What is math? So that's 360 each, so divided by a 270 belt means it's 1 1/3 belts full, so it's still 2 belts, so that's fine. It's still 8 belts of iron ore coming in to go into iron ingots, and then the rest of those get filtered down into the different pieces. Bean, what are you doing up here? Get out of here. I think that works, right? Is that how you do that? You're in the way. I can't build when you're in the way. Bounce on the bean. Move. Alright, so I've got 2 down. Can build 4 more. Yes. 2, 3, 4. Here's the next corner. Yoink. Not in blueprint mode because I'm offset by 2 on the foundations. Hold it. Line it up to be on the inside of the corner. And it works. So again, all the inputs. Also, speaking of blueprints, I think I have the resources to show this off. I don't have these as part of the actual blueprints for a reason. I thought about putting these into the actual blueprints, but I have input and output labels for different numbers of items coming in or out of each of my blueprints, and so I have a 2. Find the red ones are inputs because the resources are being lost. So I'm thinking red, it's going away. So I have a 2 belt input label. And if I line these up with the belts, and it should just fit in this space here. And essentially what they are is I'm leaving them off because I'm going to have to modify them every time, but I'm thinking that I'll use this to keep track of my belt work as I do it, because it's going to be very easy to get lost once everything's filled in. It just looks like a sea of like steel and iron everywhere. And so I'm thinking if I leave these as separate blueprints and place them down as I go, I can change the labels so that I know that it's like the resources here are coming from some block here, and I have another blueprint for the output belts. So if I do a 2 output belt, which is blue because I'm getting the item, so blue is good, right? That's how that works. And the output belts will be very similar, just with the blue labeling, so that I know, hey, on these belts is whatever item going to the next block. And I can use that to keep track of what's going where, because just looking at the map that I have, it's not super detailed, but if I'm looking at different belts and different blocks, I can use that to keep track of what's supposed to be going where. And I could probably also leave little notes everywhere saying, hey, upgrade this belt so you can delete a line or something. Make things a little bit nicer. So that's my plan for how this is going to work. We'll see if it works. But yeah, I'm leaving them separate so that I can do it as I go, because having them all here, once everything is set up, will just get confusing, because they'll just all be the same and I won't know what's what, and I won't know what I've done and what I haven't. So that's why I've left these separate. So let me finish setting these up, and then I can try to figure out what logistics floors will make sense to put in between each of these. I might be able to fit batteries in between these, honestly, and have tons of batteries so these can last for hours off-grid. That'd be nice. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Stand in the corner. Copy. Hold. Move it in place. Click. Hopefully I counted the foundations right. I should be able to fit 2 more in this space. I think the last one will be right on the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the corner. Copy it. And hold it. Where am I? Probably a little bit far. Yeah, I'm a little bit far. Here. There we go. Right there. And let's see if I can count. 1 more should fit. Looks like it's gonna be off. So I need to add 1 more foundation grid, it looks like. Yeah, I need to add 1 more. Well, that's okay. These trees can go. No major loss. I think I have the concrete. I have a little bit of concrete. I left it all in those bins up there. Oh, those trees are further away than I thought. They can still go away. Nothing wrong there. Good enough. Let's see. 1, 2. I mean, I could probably see if I can fill the line here. It takes about 100 each. Yeah, I think I can. And this way I know my perfectly cubed factory will fit in the space I've got laid out for it. I guess that means I might need one more row this way, depending on how I've done it. Although, assuming I can count, it should still be correct. It'll be close if not. Okay, so that's smelting done. Please tell me that is smelting. Yes, it is. So the way I've got this named is I've got every construction building has a different letter it starts with, so it kind of works out that way. So smelting blocks start with an S, so smelter, 3-floor logistics, 2 in, 2 out. Constructors start with a C, constructor floor logistics, constructor 3-floor logistics, 4 in, 4 out, or 1 in, 1 out, depending on what's being made. Assemblers are the same thing. I only have 3 versions because all the outputs are low on these, so I don't need a bunch of high-speed outputs. It's just the inputs that need to be crazy on some of them. And then for this foundry, oh, let me show that one again. That one's a little nutty. There's only 1 block, and I actually have the signs integrated into this one. But yeah, let me add a blueprint mode. Yeah, I kind of locked off the inputs in this, so there's no accessing it. They're just 2 belts here. And 3 belts out, technically. This is the 3rd output, this lift here. And all the signs are part of this because, yeah, it's gonna be it's the only unique design, so I figured, you know what, screw it, let me just put them as part of it, and then I'll just know that the foundry blocks. Maybe I should just start with those if I'm gonna do sign logistics. But yeah, everything here is a tangled clipping spaghetti mess because I have like 18 inputs that have to be filtered out because my foundry blueprint is 9 foundries stacked up that goes on top of this. And so having to do 18 inputs plus the outputs is a little bit crazy. So that's why I have blueprints for everything. It's a easier way to make sure it's all done and done right, because I tested that on its own and it absolutely works perfectly fine. It's just that initial setup that was a little wild. Okay, jump pad. I should probably make you in the right direction. I want to go up. I guess I should put a stair block here as the first logistics floor. That might be the way to go, huh? Alright, I need, oh, I was supposed to put one more logistics floor down. That was my bad. But in the, whoa, how do you run? Apparently I don't know how to run in this game. So between that, I think on the map, it's pretty much freeform because nothing really flows between these buildings. I'm just keeping the space for future logistics and the other floors down in this direction. So I think I can place down those 2 battery blocks back. So let me see if I can grab all those modular frames and wire and put those back down and let those charge up while I work on the rest of this layout here. So logistics, let me add maybe, I think I can only do 2 because I had 2 here already. I might be able to do more, but for now, let's see if I can't build these back. Looks like I can. And can build them back. Nice. Which means that actually now has to move because it's going to be where the battery is. There's really, the main entrance, like I thought about earlier, I might move up in that side. So what I might do is build more foundations on that tail end on that side out this way some more and make that like the main entrance where the main storage is going to be with the personal awesome sink, and all the overflow can kind of happen on that side. Which means all the items being produced here will kind of be produced down there and down there as like the final step, and then everything down there gets shipped back to the front where the main entrance is. That means I can have like a main road that comes out in front of this factory where all the trucks drop off here and come back in that direction to where all the resources are being fed into from belts, probably from underneath the factory to be honest. Because there's so many impure iron nodes on this side of the map, and just across here, this whole area has just really low purity nodes. And what I might do is just have them being belt fed into the stations directly or into some kind of localized truck stations where the trucks just drive, probably just on the ground, and pick up different and do different pickups in a loop and drop them off into the stations that feed into this line. I think that's the plan. Hopefully it'll work. Alright, let me get some power blueprints down again and let them charge. So what I do is arrow facing me so it's consistent. Hold it in place because it needs to line up here to this corner. The walls to my left, I can see the bounding box just out of view. There it is. Hold it, nudge it, and that should be lined up. And this actually has a floor on top, so I can use that to kind of see for sure. I guess I left this blueprint in here by accident. Didn't need to see that. So there's that. I can have a battery block there. I have another one here. Kind of fill in this space and serve a purpose instead of just being empty space. All that needs to come up to here. And that should line up. Okay, and then I can have just regular logistics floors between these two, which I guess, let me add them to my to-do list just to make sure. I might use stairs, so the way I've got these labeled is the stairs are up or down based on the top ground floor of the inside factory, which is like 3 floors up, technically from where I'm standing. So I think they'll be downstairs based on the direction of it. Like if the blueprint's facing me with the arrow facing me, then down is from the top going down, and then up is from the lower floor coming up in the other direction, if that makes any sense. So I think from middle floor logistics, it makes more sense to go down, because you're walking over the production to go down into lower floors, so I think I might do a down set. The B, so if the arrow is facing me, then the top floor, you can probably see it there, goes down from the top floor, which is why it's down, and the other reverse of that is up. If I can go back to an up stack. There it is, which means I'm going up into the top floor. Yeah, I want to like down B. And it lines up right here. And I think I can fit... Oh yeah, I wanted to add this to my to-do list to make sure I could have the resources for it. Down B. I need a little bit more steel. That's okay. I can still place down one more of these logistics floors that I need for smelting. Copy. Oh, let me figure out where it is first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. Copy. Hold. I think that's a little far away to nudge, but there. I think that's the block. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Lock it in. Should have 2 spaces left for walls. And the same thing here. There should be 2 spaces clear for walls. It is. Very nice. So since this is going to be the front of the factory technically, I guess I think I have the concrete for it, but I think what I can do is build out more foundations in this direction and kind of make the main storage in this be the main final logistics block to feed into the main storage for these items, which in this case, if I looked at my notes, is only 5 items, so I can actually just fit one of my 5 bins. I have blueprints that have 5 bins in them. Let's see, let me put that on blueprint mode so it snaps properly. If I build out 3, then that means I should be able to fit 2 logistics blocks. Although it might be offset funny. That's another thing I gotta check is like, because the front can be kind of offset however it needs to be, because it doesn't have to tie into any logistics besides the belts going into the bins. So I might overbuild this and make it larger than it needs to be if I can select the right thing. So I think I might do that, and then I think that should be enough space to have... Well, I might need to go one more block this way. Hi, Abroy. Welcome to stream. Glad you could make it. 9 plus 10? No, 36. I'm actually doing 2160 divided by 270. But divide that into 6. I'm not even joking, that's actually the numbers I'm working with. I've got my factory map here that I'm blocking out. Yeah, let's see. The magic numbers. 2160. Making all of this. Numbers are fun. And my belts can only carry 270 each and be full, so that divided by 270 is 8, but I'm doing 8 belts into 6 blocks of production. How does that work? 1 1/3 belts into each, please. Alright, I need to get more steel, which I deleted my jump pad, so I guess I should use the stair blocks that I've so casually put far away here to walk up myself up here instead of trying to jump pad up. And my little blocks with floors connected to little blocks without floors because the Well, the smelters aren't on there yet. Let me jump over here and get some more materials. I just need steel, and I am good. Alright, what else do I want to put here? I guess I should put the smelter blocks on next, which means I need 6 of those, and I've already had them, so all the materials in these bins should clear out if I add those next. So let's see. Smelting blocks. Making iron ingots. And also I should hook up these battery blocks to power. That might be a good idea. Let's see if I can flip the switch on and then connect them to my grid. And then once I get the rest of these, once I get these smelter blocks put on there, I probably will have to make a supply run to add the rest of these blocks, but I also might just shift gears and make that extra coal power plant I'm going to need to even run this factory once it's up and running. And so, like I said, it's going to be more streams, but before it's even running, but it'll be fun to get the basic layout kind of figured out first. And then hopefully it all works. Like, I've never done this before. This is all a new concept for me to play this game. To play this game in this way. Man, I need some water. I can't talk. Or Mountain Dew in this case. But yeah, this is a completely new way to play the game for me. Just because I want to have detailed things everywhere, so I spent forever off stream making all these blueprints. So, where can I steal power from the grid? Let me grab that line. I guess I should have made a way up first. I don't have stairs here. Well, this is technically a logistics floor. Let me just place a stair blueprint here, huh? Why not? That might make sense. Or another jump pad, or just a lookout tower. I mean, all of that can work. Everything's temporary. Nothing is permanent. Clearance. Oh, it's in front of the bins. I was like, wait a minute. That actually might work good. So I can just be here with them. Oops, don't fall off. So I just need 1,000,000 rods, a bunch of steel. I mean, I'm probably going to do this one at a time. I want to place them down. Yeah, I need basically all the rods. A bunch of steel. How much can my inventory take? Cable's a big one. And then the main thing is just plates and, yeah, just iron rods. Just tons of rods, because I covered them in catwalks. Good job. So if I just load up on rods, then, yeah, I can build some, but... So, to place these down properly, I might actually need to place a logistics block first. So, let me stare at my map. Let's see what actually goes where. So it looks like the main input of iron ore on this side of the map, so that for a future truck station on that side, ground level, will feed items into here, because I'm making row A, which is all iron smelting. In between, I've put 2 battery blocks here, so I guess what I should do is add battery blocks to these things, huh? That might make sense. Whoops, wrong sign. Give me that one. Let me do a... Oh, it's power storage, technically, is what it's called. Select that. So now I know there's battery blocks here. Copy paste. There. I've got logistics floors here. I guess I could say I shift these 2 up here, but that won't fit on the sign. I guess I could just delete these and then just put this as like main entrance or something. I could just do this, copy that, and put the bin up in this bit. And then I don't really have to denote the awesome sink. That's just a sign thing, so I can get rid of those with pasting others over top. So it looks like this is kind of the layout of what I've got going on here. I can make sure main storage and main entrance. I could put this blue sign and say this is like front entrance. Let me do that. Let me make the text like orange. I'll make it the default thing and call this oh yeah, that's big text. I gotta set the layout to be something else. Here. Let me make that say hello? Text? Signs, how do they work? Cool. So now it says main entrance. And technically, we are behind the second one, but we're technically on the number 2 block right here. Based on this map. I'm surrounded by batteries either side. So there's a lot of empty space here. I could technically not use this group, so that can be a cut-in on the actual floor or the silhouette of the building on that side. This is just going to be a big straight wall here, so that's going to be boring. Although, with the let me look at my graph. Technically cut in here. I don't need these 2 blocks on the back corner of the factory, so that could add some silhouette interest if you're looking out from there, but no one's ever going to really see that. So that being flat doesn't matter because that's all just waterfall and abyss. So I don't mind that being a big flat factory. Straight walls and cubes. Who'd have thought? Alright, let's see. I'm going to start placing 1 smelter block here, making iron ingots. And I think the way this works is I have to aim at this block because it's 2 foundations down. I need floor to walk on. I can't do this while standing on it. So let me put oh, technically there's supposed to be another block here of production, so I technically need another logistics block in front of where I'm doing that one. Iron plates, I believe. Yeah, I need iron plate blocks in front of the first 4 of these, which I don't have in my notes, although I might have it in my text notes. Hold on, let's see here. I do have that open in somewhere. My iron plates are 2 belts in, 1 belt out. Okay. So a constructor block, 2 in, 1 out. Let me slide on down here. Let me do it in front of the first one and see what that looks like. Because I might need to add more space in between. I'm not sure yet. So looking at the ground. Hold on a second. I thought there was space in between. I might need to add another row to my layout here, so I can have logistics for the ingots to come out and back. Because the way I've got it now actually won't work the way I thought. So if I count it, like I'll show you why, but like I think the back of the logistics for the iron plate production will be right up against this, and so there's no room to do logistics. So I might need to add a row to make that work, which means my sign is wrong. I have to redo that, but that's fine. I can just add a row at the bottom. There's space for that. It's fine. But if I count out 4 blocks and make this the front of that logistics block, 2 in, 1 out for constructors. Arrow is facing me. Hold it there. Line it up. Then yeah, there's no room here for belts. They just kind of crash into each other and go nowhere. Like, I mean, I guess, yeah, there's no way. I gotta add a logistics row here. There's no way. I look at my sign and see what I should do. So essentially, now I'm just gonna shift all of this down a spot. Everything gets shifted down a spot. So I guess that means I'll have an F row now. If I copy this and put it down. This won't be part of the blueprint, so I gotta like redo the blueprint for this instead of doing it like this, but whoops. If I do that, make it an F, then B is now just an empty row and everything gets shifted down. That's essentially what I'm doing. So that means if I'm gonna just do only logistics that go in various directions but across, B is empty, everything's down 1. On the rods, it looks like everything just goes straight down from those smelters, so that's fine. And I think technically, let me check my text notes too, so I can know how many belts are going where. So I'm gonna have 8 belts going into each of these for making iron ingots. Plates. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't write down is how many belts out that's gonna be. I should have noted that. But for iron rods, it only takes 720 ingots for all 4 of these. What is that? 720 by 270? That's 5 belts. Really? 5 belts? So I gotta steal some from number 4? Is that right? I don't think I actually routed that on my chart. Oops. I guess I can just overflow with smart splitters. That could be a way to do it. Again, there's going to be some growing pains getting this set up because, again, I have never done this before. This is all new territory for me. Let me look at my logistics blocks, although I do have a full inventory, so let me just destroy some sheets. Sure, I got a million of those. It's fine. So let me look at my logistics blocks. I'm gonna have to put a row of logistics blocks all the way down this line so that I can route all the belts, because I'm gonna have to have 8 belts coming in. Man, that's a lot of belts. Maybe I should just line it with empty floors, because I do have empty floor blueprints here for logistics in case I need it. Something like this with an open center. I might rotate it that way so I can have all the space for all the belts going down and back. But yeah, I might just do a line of these just all the way across. That honestly might be needed because I need 8 belts going this way to feed all of these, plus whatever's coming back this way to route back into plates. Yeah. Let me try that. Let me unhold that. Keep it this way. Yeah, if I do that, then everything should line up on this corner, I think. I think that's right, because this is the back corner. 2 spaces. I hear a shiny I never got. Looks like another Mercer Sphere. But yeah, if I do this, then I should just be able to spam them down, and then I can have a floor to walk on in front of all this stuff, so that'd be nice. Let me do that. I'm gonna spam these down and see what I get. Then if I go to blueprint mode, I think it'll just snap. And I can just make sure they're all facing me. Whoops. Another good thing about blueprint mode is you can just delete it if you misclick. Alright, click. And I'm gonna go all the way down to the very end here with these. Oh, out of concrete. Okay. But yeah, all this open space. I made this block just as a fail-safe in case I just needed space to do weird routing. But yeah, this is a lot of open floor space. This is perfect. Plenty of room to feed belts up and down this line. Also, I should have ran up my stairs, but that's okay. There's a jump pad. Up we go. And now I have a floor to walk on. Again. All the way down. Perfect for a factory cart to run through. Alright, I can take this one completely. No, I can't. I just needed concrete. Everything else is full. Let me dump that. And take that. And that's all steel. I mean, I got that on my dimensional depot. I can just delete it. I don't care. So, now that I have a floor to stand on... Oh, thank you for the redeem, Fox. Too bad I don't have strawberry milk, but I do have Mountain Dew. I should really get on that strawberry syrup and figure out how to make that. Because I make my own chocolate syrup, but I don't make any other kinds. Let's see. I do like me some chocolate milk, though, that's for sure. I don't really drink much strawberry milk. I should get on that. Smelting blocks. Iron. So what I do is I look at this, not in blueprint mode. Make sure the arrow's facing me. That way. I know, right? Hold it there, and then I just line up the corner of the floor, and it should line up. And it does. And now I have a block of smelters ready to make iron ingots, and now I just need 5 more. And now I do have to do some extra work to actually make this function properly, so down below, the way I've got my blueprint set up is the only work I really have to do. Since everything's modular, I can put anything anywhere. You know, assuming there's logistic space to put belts where I need, but essentially all I have to do to connect these together is just drag conveyor belts down in between these 2 floor holes, and then everything just works, because again, all the logistics are done. I just have to route the inputs and outputs. And with certain things like this, there's going to be stuff in the way, but that's okay. This stuff can just... Whoops, let me change build modes here. There, the default. You know, when stuff is in the way, I can just delete it. And it's fine. And it's because I rotated these floors in different directions, so that's so that I had room to do logistics like this. If I had rotated them so the arrow is facing me this way while placing them, then this would have been the opening in this way, and then everything would have fit. But then all of the walls would be kind of in the way here for all the belts. So I mean, it could have worked either way, but I want to keep this way clear because again, I'm gonna have to have a big entrance there with 8 belts coming in at the very least. So yeah, I mean, I can go ahead and clear these out. Although I might need to change this in the future. Like I still don't know. It just everything's up in the air, but it's good because since everything's modular, it's not the end of the world to have to like replace something. It's just suck it up, change it, place it down, see if it works. If it doesn't, suck it up, place it back. Everything's fine. No harm, no foul. No extra work done. That's one good thing about blueprints is they're just so quick to change around, especially if everything can work with everything like I've got set up. So I should probably add a stair block or two, but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it to logistics floors. Click, blueprint mode, arrow facing me. And one more. Is that right? Yes, it is. Click. And then let me just delete a few more of these walls. And everything should be good. Oops. Cool. And then I can add, I mean, this is the main entrance here, like the floor above. So I should probably add stairs up, and then stairs down, and then storage, and then a sink. Let me add those to the, let me remove my to-do list, because that's smelter stuff. I want to get the logistics kind of blocked out first, so I should do storage, and then stairs, probably, you know, down and up. I think I want the ones with, I mean, it doesn't matter, but I can do the ones I've been doing. So I can do B, which has no gap between the stairs. And then one personal awesome sink block. And I can actually build those, so I have everything I need, so that's cool. So I think I should do stair, stair, followed by storage and awesome sink. So when you walk in, the awesome sink's on the right, all the storage is on the left. That should line up pretty good. I might change the positioning around and play with it, but let me do that. So stairs, let me think about it. If it's facing me, stairs up, and then stairs down. Although I could just keep this as an empty floor because I could probably put the stairs here, next to the storage, next to the sink, and everything should line up. I'm trying to, I don't remember exactly how those are oriented. Let me start with stairs, see what that looks like first before I really freak out. So, up, then down. To think about it again. Thinking is very hard. Default build mode, please. Where is it? What is happening? Let me try that again. Up. There we go. Arrow towards me. Hold it. Line it up. Look up. Make sure the floors actually touch and as like a sanity check. And they do. Click. And then run up it and see if it looks right on top. Anything weird? It looks like the blueprint lines up to the corner, so everything's good. So I did the up, so now I need to do the down. If I set it to blueprint mode, it should mostly snap. Arrow facing me. It does snap. Click. And then on either side, I do storage and then the sink. And those can be in whatever direction they need to be. So this can be the main storage bin, because I'm only making 5 items in this factory. One storage block. Arrow facing, or wait, arrow doesn't matter because I just care about the direction of the inputs being, oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's room for the items to kind of flow around and in, so that's fine. Or I could have them be on the ceiling or something, I don't know. Because I can have extra awesome sinks and other logistics blocks to take care of excess, so I only have one small belt coming through or something to feed the items using smart splitters, and then the excess can go into the sink here. But yeah, let me line this up so that the inputs, whoops, wrong build mode. It's gone! Block, rotate, rotate. Hold. Where is it? There's a line there, which means it's lined up to that blueprint. So now I just need to figure out where the top is. It needs to be back here somewhere. And then lined up. Yeah, I'm a little bit too far. Oh, there we go. Alright, let me run upstairs and actually line it that way. That'll be so much easier than trying to build it from down here. Oh, it looks like that's actually the right spot. Yeah, it is. So click. So then this can be the main storage hub. Front door here. Walk in, have access to the bottom floors immediately. Then an awesome sink could be right here. Nice. Sink. Arrow. I want the main entrance of the sink to be facing, so this way. Hold. Line up the corners. Click. And there we go. I got room for like factory cart shenanigans here if I want to paint the ground later with like coated concrete or something. This can be the main entrance. Speaking of the main entrance, let me place down some more concrete here. I'm a little bit curious on the placement with walls. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself doing that, but this is kind of the new front entrance now, so could work. Because if this is, how many foundations wide is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there is a middle, which is this one. So if the door lines up, the door is 2 foundations wide. So it wouldn't technically line up with any center space, but that's okay. Everything else should be fine. And here's my awesome synced block. Personal inventory dump. Everything gets fed into there. Awesome shop right around the corner. This is kind of what you see when you walk in, up the stairs from ground level. You know what? Let me grab a tower and place down some walls and see what that looks like, because I'm actually really curious. Let me put it in the corner just so I can make sure it's not in the way. I should probably start with an outside corner because everything will kind of go from there, and then I can line up based on the other pieces I have. So let me fill in that. There. Alright, let's see. I don't want to start with... I could start with this as the outside corner and work this way. That might be easier. Factory walls. Outside corner. Not blueprint mode. I can line this up to be... up against there. Hold it. Although, I do need to build more foundations that way. But if I hold that, I can check and see if this is actually lined up right. I might go this way some more. Yeah, I'm off by 1 foundation in this direction, so I can just... I think I can nudge that exactly as far as it needs to go before it stops letting me. 1 short. Okay, maybe not. Stop holding it. Get it closer, hold it there, and then I should be able to nudge it into place. Like so. And then that means the outside should line up with that foundation since I kept it 2 foundations wide. Nice. So now I can sort of preview what this is probably going to look like at scale once everything's built. This would be cool. So there's a wall, and then whatever distance I need to be, I have 2 and 4 foundation wide wall sections. I think a 2 foundation wall, and then 2, 3, 4. This can be the main entrance section. Let me try that. I think that'll be it. So let's see. Half wall. Here. And then the front entrance. Assuming I have the materials for it, which I do. Which would go... Oh, I don't have iron plates. That's fine. Essentially, this is the front. Let me jump down. And then I can do more walls in a corner there. And then later on I can manually add windows and such. That'll be really cool. I love this. And everything should still line up on the inside. I made it so that the walls... I have some stuff, like, later on when I add the the conveyor belt entries, this will be really cool. Yeah, all the walls should line up on every floor, so these... I mean, it's just a straight wall up. It's not like it's And everything I've got modular-wise is just a perfect cube in the 4x4 blueprint designer, but still everything should line up with the designs I've got. Here. Nothing funky should be poking through on the outside. Cool. Alright, let me get more resources and build more walls. Because technically I could wall this in, and then I could really see from a distance what this is going to look like at scale. One thing I don't have set up yet, though, is a roof, because I'm still undecided if I want to do a second story at some point for maybe the other factory I want to build, which is actually probably bigger than this one, which would make this even more difficult to figure out if I were to go that route. But yeah, I love having all this open space. I could technically, if I'm getting spicy, what I could do is add a road or even a train through here just for giggles in the future. If I have a logistics floor here that I wasn't planning to have, because there's all this open floor space, it's not going to be used for anything except walking around. And who knows how big the inside of this building's actually going to be, because my walls only go up so far. I don't have a roof figured out yet, so I could just keep going up as long as the flying thing doesn't fly through the building. Although I've seen people incorporate that into their building designs. They'll build up until it clips, so they can figure out where it clips and then erase that part and then make it part of the factory that it flies through it or something. That might be a funny thing to do too if I keep going up. Let's see if I do. I want to build walls. So let me do the entrance. I'm gonna need a probably big input and a bunch of walls, which I'll just see what I got. So I'll do it pieces at a time. So I need concrete and rods and all kinds of things. Okay. Yeah. That's most everything I've got here. This guy can just take, I guess. It's empty. And what else is in here? Let's see. It's mostly just... I mean, I've got all the concrete I'm going to take, so let me just load up on everything else. I don't think my wall blueprints take a ton of steel. It's mostly just iron plates, just basic items. Yeah, I want to go back and build the wall, and then I can start stocking up on resources to plug in all of the smelter stacks. Then I can go from there. So I think I need an inside corner here. Although I don't have a logistics floor here, I might just add... What would make sense to put here for a logistics floor? I mean, if I wanted, I can go stock up on batteries and put another battery block there. There's stairs here, so... I could do that. How much resources does a battery block take, actually? Let's see. Factory logistics, plus 1 battery. I just need a bunch of wire, which I can't fit in my inventory. So yeah, let me empty my inventory with walls and stuff. I'll load up on walls. And then I think I'll grab the resources for a battery block here, so I can have 3 battery blocks to kind of power this for 3 hours, or a little bit over 3 hours, technically. Should I lose power or not have enough power to run it? My gosh. Me and platforming do not get along. Alright, let's see. I need to do another tower. Kind of in the way, but over there is think. And then I wanted to build the main entrance too. Let's do that. Factory walls, 1 entrance. Lining up the foundations. Should be good. And then I think it'll be a mirrored thing on the other side, so I can add the half wall. Wedge it around. And then the corner should fit here, because it's the same thing as the other side. Oops, wrong button. Copy. Hold it. Nudge it. And then I can walk through it because it's a blueprint. And just make sure it's lined up right, which it is. Place it. And then I can just manually add windows here because this is everything above this concrete border is the floor level. On the inside, so that I know if I add windows I could do I have any quartz stuff on me? I have some silica, so I could do this. I could make this a section of windows and mirror the same thing here, whatever I end up doing. I could make this a section of windows. Let's see, what do I have? I've never actually used these, although I don't know how they look. I've literally just been somebody when I play as somebody who just uses these for everything, but I want to keep things looking interesting. And there's some new windows I've never used, so I wonder what these look like. I hate that. Let me see what it looks like from the outside first, though. Can I make it up here? I don't hate that. I don't hate that one bit. Yes. Symmetrical, and then later on I can string lights out here once I add power in. Because what I've done with my entrance is I've added a light control panel here that it just sets everything to 60% with the amber color. So that at night all these two lights turn on, and then I can just ring the outside, which I figured I would do manually. I don't want to add that to the blueprints, but I would just do that manually at some point once all the walls are in. But yeah, let me add an inside corner here, which I technically think the inside corner is one tile in. Let me look at it, because I might need to delete some of this wall to fit it in here. Let's see. Inside corner. Or I have a half inside corner. What is that? Oh no, I have this here. I forgot I made this. I didn't realize this should be exactly what I need to fit this gap here. Just line that up. And this should be the two tiles in. Yeah, okay. Hey, I was prepared. Imagine that. I counted for things like this. Click. And that can go away, and then I can just load this with walls. And I have blueprints for big window walls, so I think what I might do, since there's the space for it. Although let me clear my to-do list and let me see how many window walls I can actually afford right now. Blueprints. Window. Looks like I can do one set. Two sets. Okay, let me do two sets of window walls here and see what that looks like. That might be cool. Grab that. Although, I might be able to just get it from here. Let's see. If I do a window wall right, then I should be able to line that up to the edge. Hold it. Align it. Yes. So I have a right window, a center which is just full window, and then a left window, and I can do this twice, and I think that will fit in most of that length here. One big window, and then I have a center window which is just all window. And then I can do a left. And do that again after. Let's see, click. Everything should be nice and lined up. I think this power tower is going to be my next vantage point. Oh, if I don't miss. Oops. And then, oh my gosh, platforming. How do you do it? I can't do it. And a right window, or a left window. Yeah. Hold it. Let me check. It's off by one. Cool. So here, that's one window wall. I think that would go far enough. I can do a short version too where I just leave the centerpiece out. There's a bean stuck in my factory. Oh no! What are you doing, bean? It's now a zoo. I have trapped him. He is mine now. I should put a sign here that says bean. Giant billboard. So if I were to add another window wall here, what would that look like? How many foundations across is this? Well, let me fall off the tower again like I do. Big skill issue. Oh yeah. Alright, how many foundations across is this? It's like 10 plus a few, so it's probably 12. So if I were to copy this again, I would need 12 foundations. and it would go to about there, so I'd have one extra space, it seems like, before the corner. So I might be able to fit a normal wall in between before I do this again. So if I just do a factory wall, which is just, or let me do one with a column. I have one with a column in the middle. Hold it, line it up. And then I can do the window again, and that should reach the corner and be just about right. And then I can add the input wall on that side for all the belts. So window right, lined up, click. This is all temporary, so like I don't actually need that here. Same thing with my factory map, that can go away now. Plus the one sign I added for row F. Can go away. Let me just build a power tower for another vantage point here. And it looks like I might have to move my jump pad now too. And so once I get this wall in, let me add I'll go for a resource run to add another battery block in there. And then the resources I need to fill in the smelter towers, and then I can start seeing about adding the logistics for the plates, which would be the next step. I want to see, I don't know, I might keep working on this, but I also might try to find some more coal to work on another power plant, because I will need to make another power plant before I turn anything on this on. So, who knows what's going to happen when. But for now, I want to add walls and see what this looks like, because this will give me an idea of the scale of what I'm building here. I've never built this big before, ever. This is all new territory for me. And yeah, it looks like I was right. It looks like I'm getting close to the edge here, and I should be close enough to get to the corner here pretty soon. So let me destroy the jump pad, not the foundations. Cool. I like that. That's actually so much better than I thought it was going to be. Can I make it? I made it. So how far am I from the corner? I think this is this is actually perfect, because I think I did everything. Since all my blocks are in groups of 4, I made wall sections that are 4 lengths long and 2 foundation lengths long. I can't talk. And I think I have a corner piece that is 4 foundations and 4 foundations. I think. It might just be 2, so then I can just put a half wall in between. But let's see. If I do that, then there should be enough room here to have my big input wall section here for all my belts I'm going to need, for all the truck stations I'm going to place later. So let me add some concrete for that. Foundation. And I guess I have to kill some nature while I'm at it. This is all going to be a concrete jungle full of truck stations and truck stops and parking and who knows what else. Good enough. Whoops. Big tree, go away. And then let me trap myself in. Nice. Oh yeah, there's a Mercer Sphere up there I need to grab too. Forgot. I guess I can go ahead and fill this in. Since it's a blueprint, it'd be easy to know. Because yeah, I did not build this on any grid, I just freehand placed this factory, so it's off-grid completely. That's okay. I think the plan is to relocate this or move it somewhere else anyway. Or just ignore it and use that coal for like steel or something. Because I could use that coal that's being delivered here from that node that's over there somewhere. Alright, let me place down a power tower again as like my vantage point, but not block the road so that I don't lose power. I'll put it like here. Because knowing my luck, if I place a tower there, the truck will get stuck, and then while I'm out making the other power plant, I'll lose coal here and then lose power. Not that it really matters, but it'd just be funny. So, corner wall. Let's see, outside corner. It is 2 foundation wide, so I do need to put a half foundation wall in between here. Not blueprint mode, please. So I need to be... Oh wait, no, that does line up. It is... I'm counting, it is 4 foundations across, so it looks like it does actually... Oh, it raised up, I saw that. It looks like it does fit right here. Snapping. There we go. If I hold it, then I should be able to line it up again. Arrow keys? What are you doing? Doesn't want to nudge left. That's interesting. Okay. I'll try again here. Let me parachute up the hill here, as one does. Hold it there. Then I can line it up, I think. It's moving funny. I don't know why that's happening. Alright, what if I do blueprint mode? What happens? It's gone. Let me try again. Blueprint mode. What do you do? Outside corner. Can you do it? Oh, if I hold it there, it's in the wrong direction. But if I do that and rotate and then hold it, is it lined up? It is. Click. So now if I go around and check the inside, it should be lined up. It is, although... Oh no, that's part of this blueprint. That's right. That's correct. Nice. Everything's good. So that means this should be a half wall so that I have the 4 width foundations I need for my big input section. So let me jump up here again. Let's see if I can get all these belts lined up here, or this belt input wall section that I made somewhat recently. I think I need to take these 2 wall segments and then it goes here. Half wall. Yes. Whoops, wrong one. Half wall. Not blueprint mode. Line it up. It is lined up. Click. And then let's see if I have the resources for it. A large ground IO. I line that up. Hold it here. Nudge, nudge. Click. I leave for now and head home. Okay, Fox. Hopefully you can catch back up when you get back. See you soon. This should line up with my logistics floors for all my inputs. It does. Man. Nice. So now I can feed my 8 belts through here. Everything will be great. Nice. I think this is going to be beautiful. Also, yes, the doors I added do line up to the floors. That's one thing I never actually checked off stream. I just kind of built them and said, yeah, I think that's right. But let's see. All of these should line up to the right floors here with my blueprints. Yes. Oh yeah, that roof section's a little funky because I have the metal roof here for the belt cover to kind of cover up the inputs. But yeah, that should line up to the main factory floor here too as like a side entrance. And it does! Very nice, very nice. I might have an issue here. Let me look at this blueprint. Okay, no, it's good. We're good. I think the issue might be... Let me check the side here, actually. Yeah, okay, this is what I was thinking, because I know on my smelter and constructor blueprints that these side catwalks stick out by half because they just don't fit otherwise. I tried everything I could to keep this the same across all the blueprints. That width. And yeah, that was the only way I could make it work. So I can just manually delete this catwalk and pretend it doesn't exist. That's fine. Because that clips. And so does that. So this catwalk can just end here. And so if I have to delete this in the future, then I just have to remember, hey, delete this one modern railing that's on the end here. If I can get the snapping, I'll just have to run up there and get it. But that doesn't bother me one bit because if I'm walking upstairs, it's going to be from this side anyway, so it's perfectly fine. Yeah. And then I can stand here and look out at the rest of the biome. Everything's great. Sippy sippy. Whoa, and then from here, since I have a block in between, I can kind of look out. And if these are all spaced correctly, I've never actually tried connecting them together, but if I want to later after the fact, like once I put a roof on and everything, I might be able to connect these catwalks together for at least the smelter blueprints and maybe constructor blueprints because they're based on the same layout and the same catwalk spacing, I think. Some of them are really weird. All the catwalk spacing is weird on these blueprints. I have to do some really janky stuff to make everything line up and fit between all the lifts and such. Oh! Oh, I was like, what the heck? I ended up outside again, which means this catwalk also fits outside. Which means I need to delete this half too on all of these moving forward. I just bonked on some glass. I was like, what the heck? How'd I end up outside? Oh, hi, Neko Koi. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I'm slowly blocking out a big iron factory so I can start doing all the early game items. It's amazing. Let me see how many hours into this save I actually am. I am... Of course. I'm close to 100 hours in on this save, and I'm not even out of phase 2. Because I spent all my time making modular blueprints, or literally blueprint all the things. I spent all my time in the blueprint designer, making a super detailed set of blueprints so I can make a big modular factory. And I'm in the process of laying it out. Let me see if I have the resources still for that factory sign. I can kind of show the basic gist of the layout here. It is this one, yes. So if I place this down, then I can kind of show what I've done here. Let me go out for the overview for real quick. So on this side, I have inputs for belts. So that I'm planning to have a bunch of truck stations here to deliver all the iron ore, or most of the iron ore from this biome. And then, oops, I need to go top floor. And so that's this side here. This is like a top-down view of the factory blocks from like the space elevator looking down. So here, this is row A, going down a line, and it's going to be a bunch of stacks of smelters making iron ingots. And I have to add, so this is actually incorrect now, I have to update this blueprint. But there's actually so this is actually row B I'm standing on, and it's supposed to be empty now, so I have room for belt work, and then everything is shifted down one block for everything else. So since I'm standing on this space right now, behind me, which is going to be row C, will be where iron plates get made. And then, you know, further on down the line, I don't actually need these spaces, for example, so those won't be part of the factory, those won't be part of the factory. I moved those up here. And in the empty spaces, I've got utilities like batteries, so the factory can run independently off-grid for at least a couple hours, and all kinds of things. And so I just need to add more logistics blocks, or sorry, more smelter blocks. So that's actually my next step. I put the walls in on at least the front half, which means I should now focus on putting the smelter stacks in place, because I need 5 more of those. I need 1 more battery block to fill in that empty space. Let me add those into my to-do list. 1 of those, which is... I'll keep that as my only item on the to-do list, and then I'll add 5 more smelter stacks so that I know what I'm looking for in my resource bins. Yeah, everything here should be good to go otherwise. So let me hop out of here. And where's my closest zip line? But yeah, for someone who's never built this big, I'm also noticing that, you know, I've never figured out how to add a roof yet. I haven't made that blueprint yet, but it's gonna be a little wild. It might be something I just make manually, since the roof might be the way I design the actual style of the factory. Because like from a distance, it looks pretty cool already. Because let me think, because I've kept most of the blueprints fairly generic, like it does have a style, but I think my plan was, like I did here in the front, I could add windows manually where needed on the empty spots, and I can also add designed elements using thick foundation pieces to make like angled sections that come up and make like a roof or something, because like these stacks are pretty tall, so like even if I were to box it in like a Walmart and just be a cube for like a factory, then you are so noisy. Then like it could still work. It would just be something I might end up doing manually or with like a blueprint for different types of roof pieces. Like I'm not sure yet, but I also don't know how to do blueprints for the roof. It feels like that would be a little awkward to do and make it consistent and easy to place. I've never tried, but it's something I might test off stream. So I want to get in my starter factory. Oh, I don't have encased beams being automated. I think I just have some in the hub, which is in a different spot, but I do have some wire here. I can grab that. It's not being made here, I just have it stockpiled from a big inventory I dumped here. Let's see. Oh, I need modular frames, that's the last end of the line here. These, I need some of these, and then encased beams. think I have to run back to the hub for that, although I could jump pad up to it. Let's see, and then I might have to come back for the rest of the items. Once I get these encased beams, then I'll add the other things to my to-do list. And then I can add the other 5 smelter stacks to the factory, and then row A can be complete. And then I might take a break from that, because like it's gonna be a lot of resources and a lot of time to place down and get the rest of that factory blocked out and set up. But let's see, do I have encased beams? I do. I have 124. Give me that. And so now, to have 5 more smelter stacks, making iron, I am missing concrete, rods, steel, and more wire. I got some of that stuff being made here. Let's see. Got my wire. Although I have junk in my inventory. Let's see. So that can go away. That can go away. I'm not making any more windows. I need wood. Oh, honestly need that stuff because I don't plan on making any more signs or my factory map again. So let me grab some more. Make it a full stack. Concrete I can get here. This has been churning away forever. So I got plenty here. And then rods and steel beams. Steel beams are made in this factory over the hill. So I'll have to zip over to that. And then rods, I think, are back at the other base. So that's a little bit annoying, but that's okay. Also, I never really finished enclosing this factory, but that's fine. This half looks decent enough. Oh, I need a ton of beams. Okay, let's see. I don't have the inventory space for all of that. Should probably grab the truck. I think that's good. Let me see. Plates, I have exactly enough of. Wire, I'm pretty good on. I don't need AI limiters, so I could probably delete a stack or sink it. I mean, I've got everything else I need. AI limiters I don't really need that much of. I mean, I can go place what I've got and then do a resource run, so that's cool too. I'll do that. I mean, everything's right here, so no big deal. Also, I need to grab some, not water, but something to drink. 1 second. Alright. Just around the bend. Let me add back some more smelter stacks into the side entrance, which I should probably label as such, but I'll do that later. Let me up. Let me in. Oh, and yes, this, I am very close to you. I might hit you with the ceiling. I hope I don't. Alright, let me yoink that. And place it again. Here-ish. Nudge it in place. 1. And it really doesn't like it. There's a lot of items in these blueprints, so I understand the game not enjoying me flinging it around as such. Also, I wanted to put batteries here, so I'm going to put that in. Battery block. Rotation doesn't matter on this. As long as it's on the ground, it's in place. Let me just line up. Oh, I don't have a corner there to line up on. Here. I mean, I guess that's my reference. Then I can double check my sanity by looking at the back wall. Click. Hey, Cooler Boy. Welcome to stream. Looks like everything still lines up. All good. Nice. Also, I should probably hook up power to these battery blocks. I might actually do that along the wall. Now that I have it in place, I can kind of run a power line as like the back wall, and that way I can have power being run to the batteries from underground, like underground, quote unquote. It's 2:56. Oh yeah, you should get some sleep. I mean, it is the weekend though, right? But if you're tired, definitely go to bed. So hope you sleep well. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I should think of a way to power input to this factory. I don't have stairs here. Where's my stair block? I need to add that as my next logistics block if I have the space for it. I guess I will add stairs. I could add catwalks to the outside. There's no windows here. Or maybe there is. I actually can't. I don't remember. I mean, there's a door here. I can get to the catwalk on the outside. That's fine. That is one thing I've kind of noticed when I was doing some testing, is I don't really have like super easy access to like between floors unless I know there's stairs somewhere. But then again, I've also added signs for a reason, so I can have signs saying next, you know, floor exit. Oh, I left the smelter block empty. I should add the next one here. Also, speaking of making it easy to change and rotate blocks, if I were to rotate this so it's facing me, I think I might actually replace that battery block I just placed and rotate it so it's the same as these, because it adds extra floor space into these blueprints, because the way I have these blueprints set up is there's more floor space on this end. So if I put them quote-unquote back to back, because this is the front of this battery set, and this is the front of the smelter set, because like I have power control panels on each of these, so I can turn any block off I want. I think I'll do the same with this battery set. I'll rotate it so the front is facing this way. So it's as simple as just sucking it up and placing it again, but proper. So arrow facing me. That'll do that exactly. Just like that. So I can just line it up to the corner, and all good. So I will add, I have the resources to add a couple more, but I'll add that first one because I forgot that first one. So hopefully I can do this without the game freaking out too much. Click. Rotate. One more. Aim at the concrete. Hold it in place. And line it up. Click. And that should be just right. And it shouldn't clip all funny outside the wall. Sure doesn't. Very good. Now I will have to go back later and delete the stair on the edge, or the catwalks on that side, because they do clip through the glass there, just by nature of the blueprint being slightly thicker than 4 foundations wide, so yeah. Small issue, but I expect to have some small tweaks to each of these blueprints as I go. I mean, I did make these to be basically plug and play, but there's still going to be some cosmetic changes I do to each of them. Snap, and click. Let's see, now that I have this floor space, I'm thinking I can add, like, pretty big signs here saying, you know, subfloor access here, because it's going to be, because, like, finding stairs is always going to be a challenge, I think, with how big this building's going to end up being, because, like, this is a floor plan, like, come on, it's going to be big. Covered in big chunks of production. I think it's going to look awesome when it's, especially once I get it up and running, but again, it's going to be several streams, I think, before I get that done, because I still have to do a whole road network, and, oh, it's going to be a thing. I am missing steel beams. Do I have them in this bin? I wonder. This is the last bin here. I think I have some steel beams in here, but I don't think I have rods. No, I do have rods. Okay. So, if I take this bin, then I should have everything I need. Yes, I do. So I can finish off these stacks. Nice. Yeah, that makes sense, because I had 6 stacks here earlier when I dismantled everything. For my first attempt at doing this just by winging it, that's... yeah. Don't wing it. If you're making big factories, plan things. Please, dear God. Alright, that is there. And then I should have room for one more at the end. Very nice. And all of these have floor space in between. Very good. Plus, little maintenance access ladder up to the top here from the back. I like this. I can see my house from here. Alright, one more block, and it looks like that'll be it. Alright, let me do that. I can maybe add some walls, but I think I want to finish some more blockouts first before I do more walls. Hold that. Line it up. That is facing the right way. Yes. Now, I think this might be the only exception, but I think I might rotate this the other way. Let me jump down to the second floor here and make sure, but I'm pretty sure that... oh no, no, I can't rotate that because the logistics are set up so the inputs are on one side I'd have to rotate the logistics and that won't work, so I can't rotate it, so no, that won't work. That would have been a big screw up. I mean, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I mean, it's just a blueprint, so you just suck it up and place it again, but... So yeah, I have to make sure that since I place a logistics block blueprint under it facing a certain direction, this has to be placed the right way to work right. Otherwise, it will not work at all. It'll just be like, why don't you do the thing? Cool, so I got battery blocks in the empty space, got stair access here. Nice, I got a big open logistics corridor to feed the rest of the factory in branches down the line. I like it. Now, let me look at my... Oh, I put all the quartz up because I was like, I'm not going to make any more signs. I should probably add my blueprint for the factory map back to my to-do list. Wait, no, yeah, I don't have quartz crystal. That's the one thing I got rid of. I was like, yeah, can't do it. So I'm going to just go back and get some more quartz then. And let me see, I might block out a little bit more. I might do the next row, maybe rows, plural, question mark? How many resources do I have? Let me see. I know I'm gonna do, based on my, let me look at my text notes again. Plates are 2 in, 1 out on the constructor stack. So if I go to the constructor stack and do a 2 to 1, add 4. And then I'm making 4 rod stacks, which is, let me check my text notes. 1 in, 1 out, so I need 4 of these. So I might focus on those next. Get those blocked out and placed, because there's certain rotations I need to keep in mind, because again, everything's directional. So I think if I do that right, it should be good. So I need rods, I need some steel. Yeah, I don't have all the steel. I need 1 full stack. 2. The rest I get to the dimensional depot, so that's fine. Need 2,000 concrete, 900 plates, 1,200 rods, 400 400 quartz. Everything's fine. Yeah, I should probably fill a truck. I mean, I got the little tractors, that's all I've got, but it's better than nothing. I can probably load it with concrete or something, and then drive it over there. Tractor's over here. Okay. What's in the tractor? Probably not a ton of stuff, but let's see. That's the front, not the back. Give me the back. It's got some concrete and a paleberry for some reason. It's funny. Let me just take everything, actually. Load it with concrete. Let me dump some of the stuff I know I'm not going to use into my little bigger storage bin. I am not going to use Noblest anymore. I might need those for signs. Don't need 2 stacks of AI limiters. Copper sheets I don't need for anything really except maybe small sign. Oh, that's full. Okay. Good to know. Get the concrete back. Do I need cable? I do not. I just need crystal, iron plates, and 1,000,000 pounds of concrete. Okay. Concrete I've got sorted. I can just steal that from here. Take all. Whoops. Take all. So concrete is sorted. I'm gonna empty this bin. Give me all the concrete. I'm gonna empty another bin too, but I'll do the bin at the other base. Load that. So this is chock full of concrete, and now I can haul this over here while I grab. Oh, I need quartz while I'm here. Let me grab that. I almost forgot. And then everything else I can grab at the other base. Quartz is here. Need 3 stacks worth to make my signs, and then if I want to make windows, which I don't think I will, I'll just make that a full stack. Nope, don't go up the ladder. Let's see. Drive here. Let me go pick up. Oh, I can test out my on-ramp that I blueprinted and placed here. I did do a little bit of decorations where I was testing my blueprints in my blueprint zone, I guess you could say. So one of the blueprints I made was for my road network, and which is going to be probably on the same. It's definitely going to be on the world grid, so everything lines up across the world if I connect everything together. But yeah, I made a blueprint for like a road on-ramp from like the ground to actual factory grid, and I decorated it. I like it. Alright, I need plates. Plates and rods, plates and rods. Everything is plates and rods. Give me full stacks. Another one. Plates and rods. And full stacks. Whoops, I missed. Scale issue. And one more. And then all the concrete, which I've already got, but I'm gonna get more. Full stack. Alright. That's all my logistics materials done. That's chock full of concrete. I think that's it. Let's drive back, fill in these places. And I think I can get, once I get these logistics things blocked out, I'll probably add some floors in between just to fill out the space and get that kind of worked out. And after that, I think I might scout out some coal and start working on, or at least getting ready to work on a bigger power plant, a bigger coal power plant, because I'm going to need it to run this big behemoth of a factory. I've essentially taken the game and scaled it up, so instead of having little constructors I place down, I now have big blueprints of smelters and constructors I place down. I basically just scaled up the game. It's so big on myself. It's great. I'm gonna drive around to this side, because I can't drive up to the main entrance, quote-unquote. And, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I did leave the space free so that I can either put, in the future, a train system through here, or trucks or something. And it should still, and it does line up with the grid, so I could put like an underground like train tunnel through here, maybe next to some roads or some kind of cool thing like that. I don't know. Just fun ideas. All right, I'm getting distracted. I saw the gap and I was like, ooh, I want trains, but that's a really far future thing for me. Like, as much as I have lots of plans for how to use them, this is. Oh, hey, Gibby, welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it. Didn't you just wake up, or have you not gone to bed yet? I have to ask. It is the weekend, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Good night, Gibby. While you're here, my factory is getting a little bit bigger, as you can see. I'm gonna slide in through the conveyor hole, even though I can just run around it, but yeah. Alright, oh yeah, I should have had stairs up. Well, the stairs are right here. Silly me. Alright, let me place down my factory map again. Had that flashlight on the whole time. Alright. Logistics, sign. Tell me how to make the factory. So this is row 1. Block A. I'm standing on the gap for B, so technically C is plates, 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 plates. 4 rows of plates, and on my personal notes, they are rotated 90 degrees this way. So on the first row, here is plates. So now that I know that I'm 2 blocks from the wall, and then if I count out 1, 2, 3, 4 here, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically, here should be the corner for the plates. Yeah, for the plates logistics block, which is a 2 in, 1 out logistics blueprint. So if I do a constructor block, 2 in, 1 out, select it, have the arrow facing me. I'm running into the same issue that I did earlier, which means I need to rethink how I organize these logistics. Now, hold on, let me look at this blueprint. Let me place it down, because I can just delete it if it's weird, but let me look at this and see if I can think about how to route these belts around, because this is going to be the challenge of working this way, because I've never done this before, so it's like growing pains trying to figure it out now, and then I can plan future factories based on what I learned from this, so that I can do it more better in the future. Now, technically, since these are really simple blueprints, I could just manually rotate the outputs to go the other way. Hey, Fox, welcome back. Welcome home, by the way. So yeah, the way I've got this set up now, this definitely won't work, because I made the assumption that I was going to have a logistics block in front of it, which I mean, I guess I technically could. There is space for it this way. So I guess I could. Alright, let me look at the factory map again, because again, I'm going to have to I'm not winging it, but I'm at least trying to figure out the problems as I figure things out. So let's see. Factory map. I didn't really account for it, but I could put a row of logistics blocks on the left. Whoa! Gibby, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. And Fox, you better appreciate and enjoy and use those emotes. Thank you, Gibby. I appreciate it. Now, hold on a minute. I could... There's a space between every block, so it'll be awkward, but I could just rotate these 180 degrees from the way they are, and then I can just run the logistics in the empty space between blocks. So it'll be awkward because I have to route the inputs over the outputs, so it has to come in and then out, but that's okay. That's just, you know, doing that 4 times isn't the end of the world. So let me do that. Let me place it down. I'm gonna add it back to my blueprints just so I can have to make sure the count's right when I place it again. But let me count my spaces. I forgot to do that. Where's my 4 blocks in? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my goodness, Gibby. Amazing. You're spoiling me. Appreciate it, Gibby. Thank you for the bits. Gibby is very cute. Alright, I'm being distracted by my blueprints. I can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front corner now. This is the front corner now. Wait. Arrow facing me. Hold it. Nudge it. And that should line up with the floor up here. Oh, it's a logistics floor, so there's no top floor. But yeah, that looks like it lines up. Everything's in line. Yes, I do this in front of the first 4 smelter blocks, and that should work there. Let's see. And then I do have plans to have empty logistics space here, so... Okay, it's kind of the same plan I had, just rotated in a different direction. But it works. Copy. Smelter block. Now, hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Since I have that gap, it's not in my graphed plan. Actually, I might be able to do this, but offset by 1. So, okay, that's something I didn't do in my, well, hold on. I'm kind of thinking out loud here, and it's probably not making sense to anybody listening and trying to follow along, but based on my factory map, which I'm going to bring down here for a second by sucking it up and placing it again. Sign A, teach me how to place the factory. But yeah, so since I said before that my blueprints are directional, so like if I imagine this is like my smelter block here, the left side is the inputs and the right side on the bottom is the output for all the materials going through. These plates are set up the same way, but I've got them rotated in my notes here, 90 degrees. But I had it rotated the wrong way because the inputs and outputs were like hitting a wall. Like I had it rotated so this was the front, and now I'm trying to build it so this is the front. And actually, I think that'll work up to a point, because like then these iron plates can come, or these ingots can come over and down into the input on each block here, over and down, and then I can do the opposite here. So I rotate these so this is the front, and then these can come over and down, so they'll be spaced because it's just a 4x4 block. And then so that can work. And then let me check the routing on the rest of this stuff, and that means can have everything merge into all those rods merge into going to the screws. And then the screws go straight into the reinforced plates here. So yeah, I've added a floor in between A and B, so there's that. That's what all of these are. That's the row I added in between because I needed it to actually feed all the ingots in. Then plates feed into the reinforced plates, so those what's made here above will get routed down this series of blocks, to the end to be produced in the reinforced iron plates down there, which is here. Now, based on this map here and how things are looking, I'm gonna have to readjust how I plan factories because I'm learning now that I've made some mistakes in my assumptions, just because I didn't pay attention to what I was doing with the size of my logistics blocks. But that's how you learn. You make mistakes and then you learn from it. But let's see. So it's good that I have empty space in between. That means I can rotate and position things as needed, and then I can just use the empty spaces to flow materials where they need to go. And I have these bins up here now, as this is the main entrance for my factory, is this part of the map, which is down there. So that's cool. I think this will work. I just need to readjust my positioning with how these are rotated. So this is going to be fine. I think I can rotate these all facing this way, and that will work. And then I can just do the opposite for the rods there. Okay, so I need to actually figure out my block spacing here because I'm not counting properly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, empty space. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front corner. For that 2 in, 1 out, I believe. Constructor block, 2 in, 1 out. Arrow facing me that way. Yes. Hold it. Nudge it. That should be in the right spot. Floors line up. Looks good. Somehow I ended up in a parachute, but then I do that 2 more times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, empty space. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front corner here. So I want that blueprint again, which is a constructor logistics floor. That is correct. Hold it there. Nudge it until it's right in spot. Click. And I have 2 more left. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the new front. This corner. Copy. Hold it. And place it. So now I've got 4 of these I need to place for rods, but in the other directions, so which are on my to-do list. So to think about this, I need to go over again 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the front because I'm rotating it so these face the same way into each other, and that's going to be a 1-to-1. Arrow facing me. Hold it, nudge it, and there. That should be the correct placement. And I think I can just put 2 of these next to each other, and I can figure out the logistics in empty logistics space, so that should be good. So this is the next corner. The second one. There. And then I can do the same thing I did here in front of that smelter block. So 4 in from the edge, because that's the back of the block. 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be the corner. I need a 1-to-1. Arrow facing me. Hold it. Nudge it. Place it. Then this is the next corner, because it's 4 blocks over. Copy it. Hold it. Nudge it. Place it. Cool. So all of these, the fronts are facing me, so that's the front. This is the front, but this is also the front here, and this is the front here. So these are going to feed in and out in this block. So that's the input. That's the output. For the plates, these are making rods. So now I need to make 8 constructor blocks to put on top of these. So I need 4 making rods and 4 making plates. So now those are the resources I need to get to place on top of these. But I also need to make walking space in between, which is logistics floors. Which I think I can just stick to what I've been doing and just leave the open logistics floor here. And that way, after I do the belt work, I think what I can do is I can look at these and see what's unused space in the bottom floors. And then I can readjust what the top is. So maybe I can put stairs somewhere if there's room to put belts elsewhere, that kind of thing. Or I can put like vertical access blocks if I need to route belts up on the top floor for some reason. Because actually, let me look at... I probably won't be able to place it, but let me look at a blueprint I've made. I actually didn't make it with this intention, but I actually made a bus system for belting. Don't think the height I didn't plan to use like internally for anything, but I could probably make an empty logistics floor with this in mind if I need to actually dodge buildings by putting resources on the upper floor as like more logistics space, because like I've said earlier, I actually have this whole floor I've added as a row, and it's just nothing but empty floor space, so that all the belt inputs I have here have somewhere to go. And that means on the top floor, it's just more of the same. It's just empty space with nothing, no purpose except for just walking around. So, and it looks like this was absolutely not intended when I made this blueprint. But this lift, this conveyor bus lift I've made, or like blueprint, is the exact height it needs to be to take things from at least 2 blocks up from the bottom floor here, from this level, to be level with that floor. And I made this to be level, and the reason that actually lines up is because I made a specific wall section for an upper input like this. It has an input on the top floor, which is level with the top. So that's why that exists. So it just happened to work out that if I put it in here, I can just modify and delete the bottom 2 foundations and just belt raw input straight up, and it will be fine, and it will still line up. So that could be a way to add visual interest to the middle of a factory instead of it just being open floor space. Yeah? So I've got the concrete here, and it's all in the back. It's nothing but concrete, so I can just get everything except concrete, and I'm good. So let me grab that. I'll grab those resources. I'll place those logistics blocks down. Actually, speaking of, I think I need to make 3, 4, 5, 7 logistics blocks. So let me go here and add 7 empty floors to my to-do list, so I make sure I can afford to place those down too. Inventory can handle the space, so that's good. So I'm gonna need 6K steel beams. That's a lot of beams. Steel beams or beams. Honestly, I might start with just the logistics floors, just so I can look and appropriately place down things. So if I just take everything, how much is that? It's not even close to all of it, but that's fine. I'll come back and get more later. That's an excuse to run and make the power plant, right? Because I need to make another giant coal power plant to power this whole thing. So next I need 1,000,000 rods. I need a bunch of cable, which is over here. I have cable running into a depot here. Okay, actually, speaking of, I never actually put it into a bin, so I don't actually have a way to get to this stuff en masse. It's a little bit of an oversight, although if that was backed up, then I think the constructors back here might have been backed up. Let me check. I can just take straight from the constructor. It should be backed up too. At least 1 more stack's worth, right? Yeah. Better than nothing. And let's see. Then I can do everything else. And I'm pretty sure I have some cable stockpiled in this base here, so that's fine. That works out. And my inventory's already pretty much full anyway, so I can just make what I can and come back for more later. And that'll work just fine. So I need 1,000,000 iron plates, that's for sure. More than my inventory can handle. But more than that, I need iron rods. I need so many iron rods because of all the catwalks I put in my blueprints. But that's okay, I like the way they look. Concrete I've got, so I just need rods, plates. So honestly, if I just load up on rods, I can just build what I can. Concrete I've already got there, so that should be fine. I'm gonna jump over here so I can use the power lines here. Let me up. And hey, maybe once I get this factory built and running, then I can delete all my starter stuff and place it for real. Maybe on Paradise Island over there. Yeah. One of these days I'll start playing the game for real. The game hasn't started for me yet. I'm still in phase 2. Oh, I missed. Because once I build this, I build another one just like it for copper items, and then I can build another factory similar for the space elevator parts. And then I can make progress. Yeah. One step at a time. It'll be slow progress, but it'll be fun progress. Alright. Empty logistics floors. Let me place those down. They can be in any direction. Whoops. Not in blueprint mode. I think the idea was I'll place these facing to the right. Or actually, these I need to face the other way. Since these have a painted beam in them that is orange, I will make that face the opposite side of the output. So since it's outputting this way, I'll put the beam on the opposite end. That way there's some consistency to how I'm placing things, and it's not snapping, oh boy. Or it's not, you know, nudging in the right direction. Let me oh, I just happened to lock that in the right spot. Nice. So now I can just place it, and that'll be fine. And I'll do the same thing in all the other empty gaps here, so it's, again, the same thing as before, just big empty logistics floors, ready for belts. Might help if I'm in blueprint mode, though. Painted beam on the right, hold it in place, nudge it around. It won't nudge left and right for some reason. Weird. Don't know why that's happening. And I'm hitting every arrow key and it only goes forward and back. That is so strange. I don't know why that's happening. I mean, I can aim it. It's fine. That works. It's not ideal, but it works. I'm missing concrete, imagine. Look at all these lanes for belts to go through. Gotta love it. Slide. And I can take not a lot of concrete. Give me a stack, take pipes, give me a stack, take pipes. I don't need that many pipes. Do I need pipes for anything, actually? No, why do I even have them? Take that little stack. I have no more pipes in my inventory. And that's okay. I guess I can give it... Well, I can fill this bit too. Good enough. Oh, I have 10 pieces of copper wire. That is a waste of an inventory space. Give me more concrete. Cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go up so I can see better. That might actually be why things are placing funky on the bottom floor. Although, it's easier for me to line things up from the ground floor because I know the spacing for things. And then I can just cry when I go up top and things are misaligned on every block. That'll be funny. Copy. Hold. Is this gonna... Wow, that just happened to be in the right spot? Okay. It's a miracle! Alright, one more here. Hold it. Nudge it. Oh, that one lets me turn left and right? Okay. I don't know why I couldn't do that earlier. Nice. Now... I think I have stairs here, so I can just walk up. Let's see. Yeah, I have stairs in the front. There's a battery block. Here? Again, I'll have signs for stairs when I'm walking around here later, but I need to get everything blocked in before I add any kind of signage for anything. Oops. Alright, so now I'm at the front entrance, and I need to run back so I can place... I kind of feel like I should do another supply one so I can get all these rods. I just have to place what I can first, I guess, so... Oh, I need the logistics floors here, too. I didn't place these. Oh, I need to make them 2 deep as well. For the rod section, so that's one thing I should do. So yeah, I do need to place 3 more of these. 1 down. Also, man, I'll just keep them facing that with the painted beam that way, even though I'm getting outputs from both sides here. I'm not going to worry about keeping it that consistent, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Here's the corner. All lined up. Click. 2 more here. Copy. I need to find the proper spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That corner. Right there. Hold it, nudge it, and there it is. Place it. And watch it and make sure everything lines up right. Yes, it does. So now, this corner is the last one for this. Copy. Hold. Nudge. Place. There. Now I have walking space and the logistics space, and this should work fine. I think technically, I might be moving or thinking ahead a little bit too much, but I'm actually going to replace... I want to try this. I'm going to start with this one, this middle one here. I want to try placing this with a different style of centered logistics floor. I think the normal empty floor might be good because it has two separated lanes, so I can use this as a way to kind of visually separate things when I'm looking at it later making belts. So I can place that, and then I can replace this with the same thing. So again, this is just showing another benefit of the modular system I've got here. If I want to change something, I can just do it, and it's different, and it works. And also, I know on my other blueprints with stairs that if I make stairs anywhere, they're going to be in the right half, in this space. They're not going to come over on this side. So if I put any belts on this side, they'll not get interfered with if I decide I want to put stairs somewhere instead later on. So if I hold that there and click, that was one space too far forward, so let me just suck that up and try again. Here. Hold. And now I should line it up. Yeah, it's too far forward, so now it goes into that corner. And now it lines up. Nice. And based on my chart, I could actually put stairs here in these two blocks, and it shouldn't interfere with anything. So now that I've said that, and because I keep missing stairs and I'm pretty far in the middle of the factory, I should probably just put stairs here, honestly. I only really need one set, and I'll do my A set, which has a gap in the middle, which is fine. From the top, it would be down? No, I want up. Up A. That way, if I'm coming from the front and I round the corner, I can go down from the top floor, which is this set of stairs here. And I want to line that up with this piece. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the front corner. Stop holding it. Hold it again. Nudge it, nudge. And that should be perfect. So now if I go up, everything should line up. I have stair access to the bottom floors. And if I'm on the middle floor, everything still lines up. Looks like a sea of chaos here, but again, once I add signage so I know what block is what, it won't be as confusing, hopefully. And then I can just walk through all these open logistics floors, watch all the belt work as things flow in and out. And I could probably, actually, since this is just walking floors, I could just make this glass floors in the future so that as I'm walking on the top floor of the factory, I can look down and see all the belt work with everything flying around. That might be cool. So now that I've got stairs here, I'm gonna actually go over here and look at the front entrance, because I got another set of logistics floors here that these could also be stairs. Like if I'm looking at my... No, this one should actually stay open, because this is actually going to be the main corridor for everything that this factory produces going up this way into the bins, into the storage containers. So what I actually should do is put the storage here where this block is, and then put the stairs in those two blocks. Because these stairs will probably kind of get in the way. Like, I don't think I'll have that much throughput, but it will be at least a sushi belt with stuff coming through here. Hi, Satisfactory! Welcome to stream. The factory is indeed growing, as you might be able to tell. It'll still be probably several streams before this ever gets turned on, but, you know, one piece at a time, right? Yeah, I'm on the bottom floor of my new factory, and it's only like 10% done, 20% done. It's not, I haven't really gone that far into it yet. It just takes so many materials, and I'm still trying to think of the logistics of like routing belts and stuff through here. So I'm thinking if I put the bins here instead, facing that way, then anything that overflows can go into the awesome sink. I don't really have an input, it's just kind of this bin. Like that's a That's the input. It's kind of in a weird spot. Just because I have it rotated so that the front end is there. I mean, depending on how these belts are routed, I guess I could... Well, no, that's the output. That's technically up into the sink. I mean, these bins don't really serve a purpose except to just have my personal inventory dump into there. But I could also just put my own, like, dedicated dead-end... I could just have one set of stairs and replace this into the line with a dedicated block of 3 awesome sinks. That could be a way to do it. Slow but surely, am I right? Absolutely. Like, I had spent some time at the end of last stream trying to just wing the placement of all these blocks, and if you're building at this kind of scale, you have to plan things out. You cannot just wing it. So, I spent a lot of time between then and now just figuring out what the placement of blocks is, and I'm still making mistakes, but this is the first time I'm working with this system because I've never done this before. This is a completely new concept for me to play this way. It's going to be very slow, but I think it's going to be very cool and very worth it in the end because, like, look at this middle floor. I think this middle floor, while it serves no purpose after everything's connected and running, is just the perfect floor to run around and look at things and just be like, and just be a detailed floor for the aesthetic of it, right? The bottom floor is where all the belt work's going to be. I'm going to have signs denoting, you know, the belts, what they're making, what they're taking, where they're going to, where they're coming from, that kind of thing. So every block has a name. That kind of thing. Actually, let me, I think I still have the resources for it. Let me run up. And I can show you the factory map, since he just joined. So here's my front entrance. So you can kind of see what's going on here. You can kind of float down here and show you the outside. It's very tall, very long, very wide. Here's my main entrance. And actually, I could probably just place down the factory map here in a place that makes sense. Maybe up against this wall here. Although, let me check and see what the storage looks like when it's here. So let me remove this block and let me place a storage block here, but so that the inputs are facing that way. It's kind of funky when it comes to like walking through here. So maybe rotated this way, like they were. And then I can have stairs in the corner there. Maybe, I mean, I can kind of think about how I want to place this stuff. Let me run up here and get a better bird's eye view. So, I mean, having stairs kind of in your face when you first walk in is a little funky. What if instead it was bins? Well, that's right in the doorway, so I don't want to do that. I mean, it would have to probably be a stair block in that case. But yeah, if I put this here instead... Whoops, wrong button. So if I just hold it there, I can nudge it in place. I mean, that kind of feels awkward. I think I should just keep it as stairs like I had it. That's probably the best way. So, having said that, I guess I should put them back. So in that case, it's going to be stairs. If I'm facing this direction, it's stairs up, and then... Or sorry, down and then up. And I think I was using the B set, so it's down B and then up B. Over, click, and then up B. Arrow facing me. There it is. Hold it. Nudge, 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 nudge. Click. And just like that, things are back to the way they were. I get greeted by stairs the second I walk into the front door. So I can have that there, and then I can have the factory map right across here, maybe? Or this way, so it like draws your attention away from the stairs. Or I could just have the one set. I mean, that'd be fine too. I can make this just an empty block. Because I only have it this way so that you can run down and up very quickly from the front door if I know I'm going somewhere to look at something. And it works in either direction. So like there's all the inputs. Which means all the inputs would have to kind of come through this bit and then around. And then siphon over this way awkwardly into the sink. Now that's... And then they can just back up when the bins fill up. And I guess I can put an end of the line sink. I mean, everything's gonna come down this main corridor at the end of the factory, so there isn't really a good spot to put an awesome sink except maybe in this spot. Those stairs are kind of in a weird spot, but it's like kind of the only option. So if I instead put down a sink block to destroy everything that is overflowing, so the factory can always be producing. Let me look here. It's probably easier to line it up that way. Oh, I'm one space too far away. Here. There. So I'm going to leave that unplaced, and I'm going to run up the stairs here. So I can look at it from the top, because these awesome sink blocks stick up through the floor. And so I have them slightly decorated in my blueprint so that they kind of look nice. I want to see where they end up. Okay, I think that actually adds some visual interest to this side of the factory, because it is the main entrance to the factory. So there can be a main stairway down. I can have the factory map. Maybe. And these stairs are a little close. I might flip this around to be the down ramp instead of the up ramp. So yeah, let me place that. So this can be the end of the line, so that once the bins are full. Well, actually, now hold on. I gotta think about this again, because that might actually block all the belts coming into these bins here. I gotta check the bottom floor to see if there's actually room for routing all this stuff. There sure isn't. See, this is why you gotta check things. I might have to rotate it a certain way, I think. Let's see. How to do this. Everything comes to here. I could just move the main storage over a block, but because then all I'd have to do is run 2 belts in here and 2 belts out, and those can just stack 4 high on one side, I guess. Technically, I could clear the catwalks and use that vertical space if I need it. That's why I have empty blocks here for logistics. Everything's a puzzle. If everything's a square, everything goes in the square hole, right? Yeah, I've got to remember the awesome sink blocks are dead ends. Literally. Yeah. So I guess I need to account for that somewhere in my layout. So yeah, let me run upstairs. Or let me flip this into the other stair set real quick and see what that looks like. So that's up B. Let me replace that with down B. Arrow facing me. Hold it in place. Line it up with the corner. Now if I did that right, that should be perfect. And now I can go up and see what that actually looks like from the front door. So it's not like immediately like you're gonna fall down some stairs if you run up here, right? I think that feels better. I think those can stay there because that feels like a good use of the space. And it's only 3 blocks wide. 1, 2, 3. And I have this space, which I have to access those bins, because that's the only way to do it, is to go around the back of those stairs. And it can work if I do a sushi belt with a smart splitter or 2, and then the rest can feed into... I could probably delete this bin and do some manual work here to make this nicer to work with this system. This is just a one awesome sink. So yeah, let me check the factory map. Let me place it down, because I'm actually going to be making a ton of items here. It's going to be more than one awesome sink can handle, that's for sure. So come in here. Factory map should be maybe against this wall, so that when you're looking at it, it kind of makes sense as the direction. So let's place it down. Factory map A. Hold it. I mean, it's bigger than the wall, so it probably won't fit there. So in that case, I mean, it'll fit somewhere. I'll figure it out. But for now, just so I can look at it, I gotta see, because my notes are different, and the way this is labeled is different. So this and this, these are 2 blocks of ingot smelting blocks, correspond to this and this block. I am standing right here in this empty space. That is this bit here. And so I have 6 blocks of smelters going down in a line that way. That corresponds to row A on the map. I put an empty row between A and B, so there's an empty row here that I've added so that I have room for belts. And I've technically added 3 blocks here, which is what I'm standing on for this stuff. So that's where the storage in the awesome sink is. It's up here now, where these numbers are. And so I've got these 4 logistic stacks here set up to handle the rod production, which is this. And so I'm technically going to have space between those, and these are going to be empty, so I could make end-of-the-line production. I could just keep awesome sinks down at the back end of the factory down there to sink excess production, and then the leftovers can come up here, and all those belts can just stop moving when they fill up and the bins fill up. Let's see, because like that's the end of the wall. That's the factory wall is that side here, so there's nothing happening outside of that. So I can put awesome sinks here and here, because I am making hundreds of items a minute, and I mean, this is all the surplus stuff. This is not including what gets used for production. This is everything after everything's produced, so that's a lot of items. I'm making a lot of plates, a lot of rods, a lot of screws, and several reinforced plates and modular frames. So I'm going to need several awesome sinks to keep up while I'm using Mark III belts. Let me add all this up. So 6, 7, 8, 936 plus 240. What else is there? Plus 36 reinforced plates. Plus 24 modular frames. That is like 1,200 items. And I'm using Mark III belts, so that's 5 belts of items. So that's 2 sink blocks I need, because they have 3 awesome sinks each. And so I technically have room for another one here. I don't need storage there. Storage is up here now. So I do have room for 2 awesome sink blocks here, and I think I have them here in my plans, because I think that was for the screw surplus was to go into there, and the rest can just be routed up to storage. Let me look. Yeah, it's not super clear because I just drew lines on graph paper, but it should work. Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea. Well, I have a 3x awesome sink here, in my, yeah, right here in my plans, and that's for excess screws, yeah, and plates. I mean, I can kind of figure it out when I do the belt work, but because again, if I need to change something with the blocking system, then I can just, you know, delete it and try something else. So I need this logistic space clear for all my inputs for iron ore, and the outputs for the ingots to go down the lines for production. These are making iron ingots into iron rods. Those rods are being fed down this way into empty blocks here, going down this line. And this is going to be another, like, pretty much empty logistics row, it seems like. Minus maybe a sink. Let me look at this map. I might, because again, I have to make some adjustments with this map. It's like it's a little bit incorrect, because I made some assumptions about how these blocks work that they don't work that way. Also, I need to get even taller up into there so I can see what the heck's going on. These blocks are big. So that's plate production, facing this direction. Plates, iron ingots come out, in, plates come out, and go down that way behind them. So, plates have logistics to go this way, which means there is a gap here for items to go this way. They can come down, all those rods can come down that line, under the stairs this way. That works. Inputs, outputs here. I could run them on the ceiling, so they're sort of out of the way of the stairs, and then down this way, down that way. Yeah, the belt work for this is going to be insane, because like what could happen is I could have everything blocked out in a way that I think could work, and then when I start hooking up the belts, I might run into an issue where there's just literally no space for things, and then I have to rework some things and maybe add like a tower to put belts up on the top floor or something to just feed some more items through. And actually, speaking of, since that actually might tie into my other question here, which is how to deal with the surplus items here when there's an empty block here. Why don't I just make an empty vertical access block, which is the same thing as a storage bin block, just without the storage bins. So let me see what that looks like, because then I can just probably put awesome sinks outside the building out front, and I have items like coming out the top through lifts down. So in the front of the building, when everything fills up, there's still movement, and then they're just going into awesome sinks and getting destroyed. That could be a thing. So let me do a vertical access block. Let's see, facing that way. Hold it. And nudge it. And so if I place that, lag, I should line up with the stairs, and it should still be clear here. Nice. And so here, I have a ladder. I can quickly jump down, or get back up. It's literally a storage block without the lifts and bins. If I walk over here, it's the same thing behind it. I just have my ladders, my vertical space, and I can get up to either floor here. Same thing as this block, just without the bins. And so if I want to, I can bring excess materials up here to the ceiling of however high this building goes, out the front, cascading out the front to show movement out the front door, and then I can just feed into sinks on like the front driveway or something. I don't know. That could be a way to deal with it, because I need all the space I've got here for routing belts around, so I think I'll just plan for that and deal with excess materials later, because like it's just so the factory never stops producing and so I can get coupon points, but it's early game items, so who cares if the factory stops producing, right? It's just for personal storage and for making stuff to output. Oh, speaking of, I should probably plan an output section for shipping off materials to other factories, because everything I'm making here is in surplus. So like, I'll fill the bins, but then it just gets sunk. It should probably go somewhere. So like, let me look at the map. Like, everything gets pretty much finished down here where these get made. I could add a second logistics floor under here for like row F, which is, I should technically have a row G, so I need to like change this factory map to be like a little taller. So I can have like 7 rows here. And then I can route these items any direction. Maybe I can route them out the side or around the back here. Because it's going to be, again, 5 belts of items with the speed I'm making things. With Mark III belts, that is. Until I upgrade better belts, and I can really shrink that down to like 2 or 3 belts. Maybe even 1. Way later on. But, yeah. I think I'm going to place down the plate constructor blocks here and the rod constructor blocks. I think everything will work out. I'll figure something out for this end, because I think I'm okay at trying to figure out like weird logistics and like tight spaces like that. Like it should kind of work out. Also, out of curiosity, let me see how much space that sign takes here. Yeah, it's basically 4 foundations. If I place it kinda here. Oh wait, that's facing the wrong way. Let me rotate it around. Like that. I mean, I know there's a ladder on the back of this block here, which I am blocking access to, but that's fine. And technically, there's a thing in front. I feel like I should have this... I mean, maybe it makes sense to have it here, where there's like plenty of open space. Like you come in, like you can clearly see the factory map. Yeah, that looks like the right scale, because this floor is empty on the top floor. There's nothing here. Since items can come out here, I could probably put awesome sinks on this floor. That could be another way to do it, because I'll need 6 at least for Mark III belts. And then the items can come in, maybe fall out behind it, and then ship off into the awesome sinks on whatever floor. And then I can have like this area be marked off as like the walking path, and the rest of it can be factory cart markings for driving around the factory to check out different things. I don't know, because the way I've got my sign set up is it's all here, and then I've got a light switch in the back to control the lights on top, and I can plug it into power and it's fine. Always on or something. Let's see, if I make this the front entrance and I have the sign there, does it look out of place? If it's like, does this stuff even look out of place? I think it looks fine. Everything's in the same spacing, so I think... I might place this here and keep it here until I change my mind. It's not really set to be any specific width, it's just kind of as big as it is. So placement doesn't really matter, I guess. It's not really centered on anything, but... I mean, that's technically centered, I guess. Foundation line is in line with the hole there. Same thing here, so that's technically centered then. And then I guess in the left and right distance it should be on the third foundation back instead of in the exact middle. So there, but on this line. Can I nudge that far? I'm a little bit shy of that line. Let me see what that looks like. Let me hold it here. And so it's in the back third. It gives me enough space to walk around and pretend like I can do something there. It's far enough away that you can still see it and then read it. It's in like a weird orientation though, because this is technically here and it's like flipped. I guess I could, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could manually update each sign to be in the proper orientation based on how you're looking at it. I mean, I'm gonna go crazy with signs, I know that much, so I could, you know, I would be that person who does the time to do that. Let me place it there just so that there's a reference point. Because if you're looking at it this way, it's kind of upside down. Because the direction I'm facing is from the top down this line. That's the direction I'm facing. So if I were to say you are here, I would say you are here. Technically here. You're technically in the invisible row between the A and B. That's where you technically are right now. Alright, let me place a constructor block for rods until I run out of materials. Constructor block. Rods. Arrow facing me. Hold. Line up the corner. Place. Also, I think these two blocks and any future blocks down this line will run into the same issue where if I place walls here, I'll have to actually delete and cap off the catwalks here manually, but that's fine. I don't mind doing extra manual work on the blocks here. It's kind of expected. Before I put the walls in, otherwise they'll clip through the walls. Or depending on how they line up, well, they know they definitely won't line up with the walls with like any like wall door holes or anything like that. That definitely won't line up because these catwalks are funky as heck to wrap around these constructors. I'm missing iron plates. Oh yeah, I've got 59 iron plates. That is not enough. So I need to make a supply run for iron plates and maybe some rods. Reinforced plates are kind of low too. Quick wire. What do I need quick wire for? Mark II power poles maybe? I can always grab or fill up my stack. That's fine. Get everything else I can grab at my starter base if I could hit the line. Yeah, it looks like my second coal power plant's not going to happen this stream. It's going to be probably next stream that I set that up. Because I think I spent this entire stream just blocking out this new factory, which is fine. The learning experience, that's for sure. But I am getting tired, and I might end it here soon. Let's see, I need 1,000,000 rods. Take all. Okay, not that. How many until I don't have enough? I think the stack. Yeah, I need a few more, so I'll take that stack. The EP has definitely gotten to me. Reinforced plates are here. Fill that. Grab a new stack. That's done. Cable, I have some stored away here. It's not being made here, but I have some here. Oh, I can fill that stack and have some. I have another one here and here. And then I'm just low on steel beams, so that's fine. I think I can place a lot more things here. And that should be most of the materials I need. I've got concrete on site and that truck on the other end, so that's fine. So besides that, I can just do a run for steel beams on the other end. That should be good. I should be able to place down all the constructor blocks I need for the logistics floors I've placed down already. Whoops. I'm trying to look in different places here. It's not working. Don't really have an easy way up, so I could just cheese it by doing that. Yeah, I knew that was kind of iffy. Since that wasn't a pole. Oh, powerful. That works. There's my cheesy way up. Let me up here. How to jump. There we go. And actually, if I plug this into power, I should be able to have the lights turn on and see what that looks like. Oh, let me up there. Let me plug this in first. Give me a pole. Where's power? Plug into something. No more connections? Fine. Upgrade it to a Mark II. Let's do it. Plug in. I want to see those lights turn on. There they go. And then once I get the walls and everything here, one of the final touches, besides adding like supports on the foundation, is wrapping the building in street lights. Inside and out. I've also got another light on the other side that needs to get plugged into power so I can see what that looks like too now that it's dark out in the game. So let me run along the outside here. I've got power here I can drag from. Plug it into the power there, and that street light, that tower light should come on. I'll put this light here just so that at night any materials coming in through the conveyor bus that will be here will get lit up as they come in. Down the main corridor, and just gives it some interesting looks, I think. I went a little crazy with my decorations in my opinion, but I like the hyper-detailed look that I've gotten. Alright, this should be a plate constructor stack for iron plates. Arrow facing me, hold it in place. Nudge it, nudge it, nudge it. Click. And there is a good constructor stack. I need 3 more of those. And I think 3 more of rods. Yeah, I've got it on my to-do list as that, so that should be right. Steel, or iron plates, not steel. Arrow facing me, hold it in place. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Whoa, one more. Nice. More plates. Big flying manta moth thing. Plates. Hold. Click. These blueprints are very chunky. The game does not like me hovering the blueprint hologram around. Whoa! What happened? I fell. How did I get here? What happened? Who am I? What am I? Can I run and jump off this to make it to the top? Yes. Let me get over here. This is the last one of plates, yes. Oh. Click. Nice. So there's iron ingots, iron plates, 3 more of these for iron rods, so 4 making iron rods, and these are facing, this one's facing this way, this one's facing this way. Those 2 are facing that way. So click. I am missing beams, steel beams. Everything else I should have, so what I can do is run to the factory that's over there. And that should work. Ooh, can I think this connects to the lower side. I want to connect to the power tower here. With power lines. I think I need steel beams for that. But I can place a tower here. Oops. Because I am the right height to zip onto these, so let's do it. Oh, that's funny. At least the automated trucks don't care if things are in their way, so I guess I don't have to worry about that getting in the way there. It's funny. Little things like that you kind of can't plan for, I guess. Let's see, my inventory is pretty empty, so I can load up on everything. I should be able to load up on everything I need to finish those stacks. Cable's backed up again, but it's also in the depot, so that's fine. The other thing I needed was steel beams, and that's it. I think I get to those from up here. Whoops, lost all my momentum running, hitting that uphill section. $2,000, so I only need 1,500 more, which is most of it. That's fine. I should probably make a hypertube thing to get here and back faster, but that's I've got things in like 3 different locations, nothing's really centralized, it's just things are where they are. And that coal power plant just got loud all of a sudden. Running by it from the outside. Give me concrete. There. I now have everything I need to finish these stacks. Let me up, let me in. Let's finish it. At least the first 2 rows. If you remember the factory map, this is just rows A and B done. Nothing else. I've still got C, D, E, and F. Technically there's no F, but there is because I added a floor. Yep. I've done row A and row B. That's it. That's all the progress I've made. This stream is all this. But it's because I had a lot of growing pains trying to figure out how to actually use the system I made. I think it'll be fine. Hold that. This is facing the correct direction. Yes. 2 more, and then I can go check the logistics floor. And then the bottom floor. Yeah, it's gonna be really funny when I set up all the blocks in what I think is the proper orientation, and then I start doing the belt work on the bottom floor, and then I realize something is terribly, terribly wrong. But that's a future me problem if that happens. I don't think I'm prepared right now to think about or consider any issues that might crop up at this time. So again, these are facing me making rods. Yes. Click. And then 1 more right beside it. Right here. Hold that. Nudge. Place. And that should be it for these blueprints. That is now rows A and B completed. In terms of the construction. Now there's technically still more work to be done. Plenty of work to be done when it comes to getting these operational. I actually still have to connect all of the belts between floors. So like, do I have stairs? I mean, I don't need stairs to get down, but I can just run around the edge here. Yeah, all the belts I need to get connected between the floors here for every single block that gets placed, and that's fine. I literally have a bunch of, well, I used to have a bunch of steel beams on me. I don't have enough anymore, but literally all I have to do is just grab a Mark III lift and connect them together. I just have to do that for every lift. And I'm going to be pedantic and picky and make sure they're all facing the right direction. Not that there is a right direction, just the same direction between floors. Yeah, this is basically the process when I'm with my blueprint system. I put one on top of the other, connect them together like this. And I do that for every section, for every blueprint, for every block. And then all the inputs and outputs are done. They're balanced. They just have to have the inputs fed into them. So this one's 2 inputs, this belt and this block. And the output, which has a beam in the way, but that's okay. I can also delete the frame walls here and run around it. Which is expected to happen because I'm rotating things in ways I didn't expect to have them lining up to each other, so that will happen. I think the same thing's going to happen for all of these blocks moving down the line, so I can preemptively delete those on every line. So it's these 2 here. So this output can feed around it and go down the line. Here and here can go away. And then, I think these are the iron rod blocks, because there's two sections here. So these should be the sections making iron rods, so that's just one in, one out. One in, which can come in from this side, right in. It's gonna hit the stairs, but that's fine. I guess I could run it around the side here, and then curve it in. Output here, all good, no issues. All these frame walls I can delete and put wherever, just to make sure things look supported. But yeah, what a chaotic mess. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be, well, I say it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting doing the belt work, I'll say that much. It'll be interesting. I'll take it one piece at a time. But I think this is a good place to call it. I've got everything kind of blocked out for the first two rows. And then I think maybe next stream I'll focus on, I'm not gonna guarantee anything, but my rough thoughts are next stream I can focus on road infrastructure, maybe start getting some miners placed down and get some trucks automated so that I can at least start making sure that that side of things works, get a road system set up on the grid, on the world grid. Let me find some stairs so I can kind of showcase the position of things. Give me the vertical axis block so I can ladder up. There we go, and I'll end up, whoops, I'll pop out right in front of that sign if I can walk right, jeez. There we go. So yeah, when I'm down below, I'm definitely gonna put signage so I know, belt interesting, not until the placement goes wrong. Exactly. Again, this whole factory, this whole thing is my first attempt at building something with this modular system I've created. I was like, oh yeah, let me just take in 2,000 iron ore. What's the worst that could happen? Yeah, I can definitely hook up one thing to one thing, so I can say, hey, let me hook up, you know, columns 1 and 2 and feed those down into like one set of these things, because I can turn blocks off and I don't even have to hook them up to anything, and I can just see if there's any issues as I do the belt work. Also, since I think you weren't here earlier when I went over it, but if I jump down here for a second, I can show you how I'm going to try to keep track of everything with the belt work. So because every logistics block is sort of unique in that there's different numbers of inputs and outputs, because some constructor blocks or whatever will take more items or less items, or make more items or less items than others. So I have different logistics needs and different belt needs and different input rates and things to keep track of. And so what I've done is I've actually created blueprints for signs. Let's see, for logistics. And so in this case I've got 2 inputs and 2 outputs. And so as I do the belt work for each item, I have a logistics blueprint for signs so that I have a 2 input label, which is red because I'm losing the item. If I line that up to the belts, I'll just place it. Then for example, the first 2 items I put in here will be, I mean, it's going to say the same thing for everything, but when I place down the signs, I can edit the signs to say, hey, here's a Mark III belt putting in iron ore at this rate, and it's coming from this block, and I can actually make that just say input or something different since it's the ore input. But I can have this on every single block with an output label, and I can do the same thing on this side for what that block is making. So a 2x output label would fit right there. And I can do the same thing. I can say, hey, I'm making this item, it's going to this block next at this speed with this rate. And that way I know I can do that one block at a time, route it to where I think it should go. And then I can do the same thing here. So for example, this is a logistics block with another 2 input, but 1 output. And I don't have anything else, but I have blueprints set up for multiple inputs and outputs. So I have some blocks, like for assemblers, that take 6 inputs and outputs. And I have a preset blueprint made so that I can really identify each and every belt input, so I know where it came from and how much I'm expecting of what item. So if something's wrong, once I set that up, because I'm probably going to do something wrong, so if I built something funny or if something's not working, I can come down and troubleshoot by just looking at the logistics block, look at the sign and say, hey, this is what that belt should be, this is what that belt should be. And if I look at it and the item's different than what the sign says, I'll know I did a goof. And then I can trace back to where it came from and what I did weird. Of course, that's assuming I do the signs right too, but that's why the signs aren't incorporated into each blueprint. I have them as a separate blueprint so that I can do it one belt and one section at a time. So I do one set of inputs, make the sign, change it, confirm it, and then I do the outputs. Make the signs, make the updates, do the belt work, confirm it, and then the belts will plug into an input. And so I place the input sign, and it just repeats and repeats until I'm done. So that's my sign system, and also I have signs for floors, so that, you know, later on once I get, I just have this set so I can put it on basically anything, anywhere. Let me find some stairs. Where are my stairs? I have stairs somewhere. Here's some stairs. But I might make a couple of different types of blueprints for like designation signs, so I know like where the hell am I? Probably on the bottom floor, but also on the other floors. So I can just place it like here, for example. And I can just say like, hey, what floor am I on? What block am I on? Where am I going? And I can just be like, hey, this is this block. And I can delete the item, and I can just have that say, hey, this is the stairs up to this block or whatever. And I'll have to update that blueprint to make it maybe just freestanding, so I can put it next to the stairs on the bottom floor. And also on the middle floor. Because they don't actually snap to anything like I thought they would. At least not with the way I've decorated things, so I'll just make a version of that blueprint with the sign post sticking out so it's at like eye level. Because right now I just have it built at like wherever it snaps to, and it's just kind of there. So it snaps to beams, but not really these for some reason. I mean, it's kind of free placing, so there's be no consistency if I were to do that, but I could put it to these, I think, but it snaps to the top for some reason. I don't know. I want to, like, it doesn't free place. I don't know. It's weird. Give me sign. It kind of works, but then it doesn't. It just goes up to the top of the beam. It's like, beams are weird. They don't behave like I thought they would with signs. I was just like kind of assuming that they would just snap to the sides like walls. But actually, speaking of, now that I'm thinking out loud, I can also, like, everything's kind of set up so that I can just put walls down, like, wherever, to kind of separate some things, because, like, looking through these floors can get a little busy, especially if you're looking down a long corridor. And everything is set to be 2 walls high, for the most part. Like, there's some divots just to give it some, like, depth and interest when you're looking at it. Not to mention, when I do all the connections for the belts, there's going to be even more movement and stuff happening once things are cooking. But I think it'll be cool. I can maybe figure that out when I'm like decorating stuff later, because I do want things to be decorated and have like legitimate purpose and use and have proper signage and stuff, and, you know, make it so that later on when I share the save or post it somewhere, somebody can look at it, maybe possibly try to make sense of what I've done, because I have ideas and plans for things like way later in the future too, when I start getting like trains involved. I have a system. I think it's going to work. I'm still developing it, but I have a system for like how to name those, how to name stations, how to add signage to the railroads so that you know where you can park versus what's an automated rail line that you don't want to block, kind of thing. Not to mention, I can also put numbers and stuff on the ground here with like the decals. I can paint it different colors. I can put signs on this. I've never actually tried placements to see if it snaps, but you can also probably just put signs on the sides of these blocks to say, hey, this is this block. I don't know a good spot for snapping, maybe on the railing, but I can just like put signs on these somewhere and just label each block as like, here's a, what would this be? This would be like B4 or C4. This is block C4. It's gonna blow up, it's block C4, ah! Because like looking at the sign, this is technically row A, this is row B, which is shifted down on the sign. Had to add this to have belts, and then that's row C. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, it was C4. But yeah, I can have big signs like facing inside the walking path here, so I can look at each block and know what number it is. So then when you're looking at the factory map, probably, I really wish, yeah, I might have to flip this around to be accurate from the direction you're facing. So like, maybe I'll put the letters or the numbers in like in a different spot, or just flip things around. I don't know. Put 6 at the beginning. Put a sign that says "You are here" of like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or I could just put the sign backwards to the door. Let's see what that looks like actually if I were to do that. If If I were to put the sign facing this way, it'd block that ladder, but I could just delete it. If I put it facing backwards, let's see. I guess that would be kind of centered, and then kind of blocks it, but it also kind of still works as a ladder to get up. One block. Yeah, that's kind of that. Because this sign's only really accurate if you're looking at it from the back of the factory looking this way. Because now with this, I can just have a little thing that says, "You are here." Yeah, technically. I don't need to select color, I need to select the layout. There. Now you know. You are here. Technically it's right here, but that's the idea. Yeah, this factory map, I might have to think about this blueprint and how to update it and work on it, because it'll be different depending on the orientation, so it's like, it'll be awkward. I might have to make a vertical version, or I don't know. I'm not going to go that far, but I can just have one next to the entrance that's facing in the proper direction, although there's really no space because it's bigger than I thought it was. It's 3 foundations wide. Yeah, there's lots of good emotes in this game. This game is hilarious. Rock, paper, scissors for when you're playing online with friends. You can point at things. Oh, speaking of things, I gotta show you the hub. I put some signs in the hub. I'll end the stream there. I'm gonna suck up that sign. I'm gonna put it there. That's in a weird spot. It doesn't make sense for the way I've got this set up. So what I might do is I might just redo that blueprint so that since this is the front of the factory now, I might just reset that blueprint with this orientation and just relabel it, because I haven't labeled anything yet, so I can just relabel that front of that factory as A, B, and this can be like row D or F or whatever, and you know, I can just do it that way. That's one way to kind of get around it, because this is now the main entrance. I didn't plan for this in my layout, but everything kind of flipped on me, so I might end up doing that. But yeah, let me go to the hub and show you some funny signs I put in there, and then I'll end stream there. Because once I started playing with signs, I didn't realize it, but signs snap into the hub, and I had no clue. So I put some signs in the hub, and I just think they're funny. Because when I saw the pointing emote, I was like, oh yeah, I have a sign where I'm pointing, and it's, well, the Pioneer is pointing, and it's funny. So yeah, I think I posted this on Twitter, or Zitter, or whatever, you know, X. But yes, I have a very low poly image for some reason, or low resolution image of the SAM. That you can zoom. Yeah, let me put it back to the SAM fluctuator. All these images are low res and they didn't update. That's funny. But yeah, this sign just makes me laugh. Just, you know, eh. But the other way. But which way? Why? Oh yeah, speaking of blueprints real quick, I also have signs for, like, later on when I develop the road network. Because I have a lot of road blueprints. For all kinds of things, but I have a sign system I made for labeling different biomes and stuff when you're going somewhere. And then I also have a singles, oops, wrong one. I have that one already. I also have a single sign system for like denoting on the roads, like when you're going to somewhere, like what it is. So I've got stuff like that saying, hey, here's this whatever factory. Here's the biome you're going into. Now leaving. Approaching. So it's like, it makes sense, and I just have to update the sign on both sides. So I've got little things like that that are cool. Let me actually place down some roads again. Let me get over here on this lookout tower. Up here, oops, I can't aim. Platforming is the worst for me. So yeah, I can probably build off that. That's not a blueprint. So let me fix that. Let me make this a blueprint of concrete foundations. Oh, whoops. One more time. all the way this time. Let me place down some concrete slabs as blueprints. That way I can place down roads and they'll snap to this. So I've got a system for roads. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. So I have, let's see. I have some weird naming for some things, but essentially I've got roads that work like as independent pieces. If I go to blueprint mode, I think it'll just snap. So now I made up. I guess I can delete that now that I have a blueprint in place. But I have sections built that are interconnected. They're like blocks. Like everything's modular. That's kind of the whole point. So I can have a T-junction that's here. And then I can have ramps that go up. So let's see. Road ramp up. Should snap to this, and it should start ramping up. And then I can do more ramps ups. Let's see. I think it actually uses this piece here, which is the extension. I don't have the items for it, but like again, it snaps in place. It's kind of awkward to place these from a distance, but I've got modular systems, modular pieces that should all fit together for a road system. If I build it on grid across the entire map, everything should snap and line up and connect properly and work. I do also have sections in these road sections for like pedestrian crosswalks, for crossover bridges. The other one is this one, which I can't make. I don't have the resources for it, but if I delete those, I should. I also have this one, which is a crosswalk piece, which I added some decals to on the road to make it appropriate. But between that and the signage, everything should, oops, not to blueprint mode. Everything should just kind of work and be appropriate, depending on, and I can free place signs wherever it makes sense to. And so if there's no turnoff, it's just very confusing. Yeah, I have a road system in place. I think next stream I'll focus on developing the road system for this biome and maybe kind of working out the general flow of vehicles and iron ore, because what I might do is I might spend some time next stream designing and working out the belt work for all the ore nodes in this region, because again, I have to take most of the iron from this part of the map. Like I'm not using these 3 here. There's 2 over there that are impure. There's plenty over here that I'm not using. And I think there's some over here that I might be using all of that for steel, excuse me. And plus I need to get all the copper for the other factory of this like similar scale that I want to build. So it's going to be interesting. I might have to move a lot of this stuff out of the way, because a lot of this stuff is just in the way. My starting base will have to get destroyed eventually, and then I guess I have to route that material elsewhere, or just build everything up there out of the way. So as I develop my network here, I can just have things existing in place and working and functioning, and then everything can develop and grow from this region outward, because there's plenty of room on the other side of that mountain to do other factories. Something that can do basic, because that factory is just going to make basic iron products. The other one, just like it, probably a little bit bigger. I think it's more blocks. But the other one, just like it, can maybe exist over this half of the biome, and I can just truck in, either from ground level or from elsewhere, all the items I need for that to feed that factory. And I can just rely on the road network to kind of supply these factories for the foreseeable future. And then later I can build out the space elevator factory, get those projects automated, and then I can unlock oil. Probably go to the oil that's on the other side of that big mountain there near the beach. I think there's some more oil that way too by a blue crater, which is this area here. I think there's oil down here. I've never actually built over there before in all of my early access playthroughs. But yeah, I think next stream is going to be developing that, getting this parking lot kind of built, building new coal power, and then just more factory block placement as the resources I have here build up. And then off stream, I think I might just work out any technical issues with blueprints that are like working funny, or maybe I can use that time off stream to just connect everything together, since that's just tedious work that there's really not much to say or talk about when I'm doing that, but I can do that off stream. Wow, I'm having a hard time talking. I guess I really should stop. Yeah, I think this is good progress. I'm actually really happy with how these blueprints worked out, because the walls actually turned out much better than I thought they would. I developed those, I think, yesterday, and I made those blueprints, and It's the first time I'm seeing them in use, and everything's looking great. I have to figure out a roof system too. It's another piece of the puzzle, one thing at a time. My drink has betrayed me. Help! I'm alive. But yeah, let me see who's online. Let me take a picture for the VOD thumbnail. Wow, I am really dying. That went down the wrong hole. Yeah, let me take a picture for the VOD, or the VOD thumbnail. Let me see if I can get a better angle, actually. Maybe up there. Oh, I still have a ladder sticking up here. I forgot to dismantle this. What the heck? Silly me. Silly past me. How dare I leave ladders sticking up in midair. I think long-term goal is eventually everything here will get destroyed, even that steel factory I spent forever on one stream making. Because that's just temporary, it's not even enclosed properly. Now that I have a modular system that I built after I built that, I might just replace that with a small modular factory. I don't know. Yeah, let me screenshot this. Maybe, where's the giant moth? Coming around, are ya? Maybe you can make it in the picture. I might take a closer picture from... I could probably build a tower there. Take a picture from that. How far can I go? Maybe from over there would look nice. And maybe by that time you can get in the picture too. Yes. Actually, one thing I could do, and something I have done before for some pictures, is I can take some foundation and just build it wherever and go up with it. And then on top of that, I can build a tower. It's a little too high. Can't make that jump. Build a tower on top. Jump to the ladder. And now I can just get extra height for a better picture, a better angle. It's a good way to see things at scale. I hear the moth. There's the moth. Make it into the picture, because I know it flies right over where that factory is, so I'm really hesitant to put a second floor on there, so... Progress. I need to keep the bottom right of the image clear so that it... because the text is going to be in the top half of the screen when I do the VOD thumbnails. And that factory dwarfs the thing. That thing is... There we go. There's one. And then let me do one more from... Maybe from the top of that tower. I think I can make that jump from here if I parachute. Also, I've kind of made a small promise to myself to not make a lot of progress off stream, but there's a lot of infrastructure and a lot of cleanup stuff I could do. Like, I could start working on the road network off stream, and then once I get to a point where I think it's gonna work, I can then continue it on stream and then see if it actually does work from that point on. Let me see. I want to get a shot of the front door I made too, because I like the way that turned out. Let's see, maybe over here, because right now I'm just making a bunch of litter, just so I can see what I'm building. Be good. Maybe without that tower though. So I'm getting power from the left, so I don't need that one either. Then I can try again. Yeah, once I get this, once I get a few thumbnail options, then I'll see who's online, see if I can raid anybody. There we go. This might be a good image, although, how far along has that moth been? I don't actually know how long it takes for him to do a loop. Where is he? I have lost the moth. I don't actually know how far out he goes. I'm not actually sure what he does on that half of the map. The magic non-spilling coffee? Yes. I am looking for the moth and I don't see him. That's crazy. I have never actually followed them. Oh, there he is, coming back. I think he loops around the space elevator, through the mountain, over here, and then back again. I mean, I don't need it for the thumbnail. It's just there. Anything interesting in the foreground? No. Just a floating factory. Like that. And I'll get me one more option. Wow, I'm still coughing. And then one more from maybe inside, so I can see all the tower stacks I've built. Because this is wild. Maybe something like this. The proper factory setup. With a planet cameoing in the background. Interesting. And just for giggles, what does the middle floor look like? It's like a maze. I wonder if I can put that factory map up here. I'm just playing with pictures now, so I'm like I'm killing some time here before I end stream. Let's see. Oops, not that one. I need the map, which is technically incorrect now. Let me down here. There we go. Can I cheese it by hanging off the ladder? Kind of want to be a little bit higher. Maybe I can jump on this. Didn't look quite as interesting as I thought it might. Are we lost yet? Does it look like a liminal space? I made a post on Twitter about that. Because this floor without walls, it just goes on forever. Oh, I also need to... While I'm thinking about it, I'll end stream as soon as I do this, though. Because I keep saying I will, and I don't. But I will after I do this. I left some signs up here I want to get rid of. Can't be leaving signs everywhere that don't mean anything and that are inaccurate. Alright. That's it. No more. Stream over. Let me see who's on, and I can raid them. If not, then I'll just end stream. So, here we go. Let's see who's online. Ooh, okay, I know who. I think Kitten's still playing Satisfactory. That's cool. Let's see if I can raid them. Let me find that raid button. Where is it? It's been a hot minute. There we go. Wow, I'm chugging. Oh, I can't spell. Man, this is lagging so hard. What the heck? I don't think this game likes being windowed and minimized. Or not minimized, but just windowed and not focused. Yeah, let me start the raid. We'll raid Kitten. Because I was watching them play Satisfactory earlier before I started. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. Next stream will be on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, I might do some off-stream work on the map, but until then, catch you guys next time. Bye!